From Skyland Stadium in Augusta, New Jersey, good afternoon and welcome to Day of Baseball with the Evansville Otters. It is the series finale of this three-game weekend set. The Otters trying to salvage a game in this series after losing the first two games. Alongside Jordan Fisher, I'm Devin Buckner. We're on the Otters Digital Network. Evansville begins play at 34-25. Sussex County 33-26. Evansville has dropped 4 straight games now. Final 2 games before the All-Star break, and the first 2 to start the second half of the season. A couple of tight games in this series. Friday losing 7-6, and last night by a final score of 5-3. Again with Jordan Fisher, I'm Devin Buckner, and Jordan, the storyline in this series, a couple of things really, but the major one at the plate. Evansville has had some chances to tack on when they've had leads or to get back into the game. And last night they stranded 11 runners, and that's been a theme of late.
Yeah, Friday night they stranded 13 from my count, too. So, anytime you're stranding 24 runners between 2 games, it's not exactly ideal, especially in close run games. Like we've seen, they got walked off on Friday, and then last night they had a couple opportunities but just could not pull through late. But you mentioned the 4-game losing streak now. Also at the same time, Washington on a 4-game winning streak. Not exactly the best time for those 2 results to happen in a row. But there's still plenty of season left. Evansville going to be looking to try to steal Game 3 and at least salvage 1 game out of this series before they come back home for an important homestand.
It'll be a 6-game homestand on Tuesday for the Otters, and they've struggled somewhat on the road this year. 6 of their 10 series losses have come away from Bosse Field, and they try to get a win today here on a beautiful Sunday afternoon in Augusta, New Jersey. Let's go through the starting lineups for the Evansville Otters. As I mentioned, they are 34-25. Leading off and playing right field, Elijah Mcnamee. Batting second, the DH, Jeffrey Baez. J.R. Davis hits third. He'll play second base. Steven Sinsley bats fourth. He is at first. Devin Buckner does the catching. He bats fifth. Hitting sixth in center field, Miles Gordon. George Khalil bats seventh. He'll play shortstop. Anthony Torellis hits eighth and plays third. And Brian Rosario hits ninth, and he's in left field. Starting pitcher for Evansville is Austin Gossman. He has put together a nice season 4-3 with a 2.64 ERA. Mcnamee, Baez, Davis, Sinsley, Buckner, Gordon, Khalil, Torellis, and Rosario. Before the minors starting lineup, Jordan, 2 notes about the starting lineup today for Evansville. Different looking lineup than we saw last night. Andy McCauley likes to switch things up, especially when you're going through a bit of a drought in terms of winning. And then also the second point, good guy to have on the mound, Austin Gossman, that ERA below 3 this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Gossman, an all-star this year for the Frontier League. He's certainly somebody you want on the mound when you're trying to salvage a game out of this and avoid the sweep. But the most telling thing to me was Mcnamee going in the leadoff spot and Gordon batting sixth. Gordon has been pretty much leadoff hitter all throughout the year, but maybe moving him down in the order might get him rejuvenated and re-energized and see if that can spark some offense from the Evansville Otters.
For the Sussex County Miners are 33-26 after last night's win. Leading off and playing left field is Mikey Reynolds. Hitting second, the shortstop, Kevin Rowland. Hitting third, at third base is Juan Silverio. David Mayberry bats fourth. He is the DH. Hitting fifth at second base, Webb Little. Nilo Rijo bats sixth and plays right field. Nick Garland is the catcher, batting seventh, followed by Justin Washington, hitting eighth in center field. Batting ninth at first base is Alex Torrell, and their starting pitcher is Michael. Say his last name for me again, Jordan.
I'll have to look it up again real quick.
Madea, is that right?
Yes, Madea.
Madea.
A fun one to say for sure.
He is 4-4 with a 4.50 ERA. He's worked 70 innings this year, 25 walks and 67 strikeouts. So again, for the Miners, it is Reynolds, Rowland, Silverio, Mayberry, Little, Rijo, Garland, Washington, Torrell. And Madea, by the way, is a left-hander. He is going through his warm-up pitches right now. As the Miners, they're wearing their camo tops today with the white pants, black cap. And had a really good crowd last night. It was Star Wars night. Also post-game fireworks, and not quite the same crowd this afternoon. It is a warm 91 degrees in Augusta, New Jersey. Sun shining brightly.
Yeah, those Sunday games are a little bit harder to make it out there at the other starts, so we'll probably see the crowd filing in a little bit later today. But they're showing the lineup once again on the screen here on the stream for the Flow Sports broadcast. But something to note, with the lefty on the mound, there's only 2 lefties in this lineup as far as I'm seeing between Sinsley and Gordon. Everybody else is a right-hander or a switch hitter, which Rosario is a switch hitter rounding out.
So in the top of the first inning, it'll be Mcnamee, Baez, and Davis. Glad you could join us. With Jordan Fisher, I'm Devin Buckner, Otters Digital Network. Preston Linebuck in the Bossy Field press box as well, doing some production work as we are doing this game remotely this afternoon.
Matthew Will improve our record on that too. We had a tough stretch at the end of last season, and we're 0-2 so far in this series.
Yeah, the remote broadcasts were not kind to us last year. But Matthew Will, he'll be back on Tuesday as the Otters start a 6-game homestand.
Matthew Will, I do believe, is tuning in today. Sent us the game notes prior to the game. Appreciate his help throughout this entire series.
Elijah Mcnamee digs in, batting .290, 6 home runs, 23 RBIs. And the first pitch of the game is headed home at 1:06 Central Standard Time, and it's a swing and a miss from Mcnamee, 0-1. Mcnamee last night hit 6th, played right field. He was 1 for 4. He doubled in the 4th inning. Here's the 0-1. Mcnamee takes it inside in the dirt. He skipped out of the way of a fastball from Villa, 1-1.
2 pitches low and in so far to Mcnamee, and seems like it might be a theme early on for Villa if he's going to try to challenge those hitters low and in.
From the wine, the 1-1 is jammed, and he fouls it back to the screen. Ball and 2 strikes. Villa over 7 innings this year. Mentioned 67 strikeouts, 25 walks over that amount of work as well. It'll be a 1-2 to Mcnamee leading off the game. Where's the high blue socks with the gray pants? Checks his swing on a curve in the dirt. They appeal. No swing, says our first base umpire.
Now, I was busy last night, so I was unable to tune in, but the Otters' approach on Friday night was patience, patience, patience. They really worked the pitch count against their starter. How did they do that last night?
Yeah, I thought early on they got the pitch count up for the Sussex County Miners starter, and then the Otters were pretty aggressive. It seemed like middle to late innings last night. As the starter for the Miners, Jimmy Boyce, ended up going 4 innings. Did not qualify for the win. But the Otters in that first inning last night, they were aggressive. It seemed like innings 2, 3, and 4 as Mcnamee strikes out, swinging one away. They became more patient. But Jordan, that first inning last night, Gordon singled on the first pitch he saw. Then Davis singled. A long fly ball from Bierman, a sacrifice fly from Baez, and Sinsley singled as well. So they were active in that first inning.
So I was wondering if their approach would change a little bit if they, because when a team gets kind of on a 4-game losing streak like this, you want to jump out of that and get a win. I was curious if they'd come out aggressive, but Mcnamee working, they kind of eventually goes down swinging, but good to see him at least seeing some pitches here early.
In stands Jeffrey Baez, the DH, batting second today, hitting .272. The pitch right down central, a called strike. Baez last night was a part of an eventful 9th inning. Otters trailed 5-3, and Baez was up with nobody on, 1 away. It appeared he fouled a ball off the top of his foot. It rolled toward the pitcher. Pitcher threw to first. Umpire said it never hit his foot, and Baez was called out. The next to him is Lowe, 1-1. But then after that, Andy McCauley was ejected, ripped his hat off and kicked some dirt, was red in the face. And then Baez was ejected from the Evansville dugout 1 pitch later, and Bobby Siegel was ejected, the Otters hitting coach as well. Baez takes outside, and the count's 2-1. Was also what added to the fire in the 9th inning was when you get kicked out, you got to walk all the way down the right field line at Skyland Stadium. So everyone waits on you to make your way out, and Andy McCauley was the first to do that as Baez takes away. I believe the count's 3-1.
And you had told me off the air too that Baez had taken his time getting out. Off the field.
So you can walk in foul territory and exit the gate, which is kind of in the corner in foul territory. Baez, he was standing in fair territory where the umpires got tired of waiting. They put the ball in play as Baez takes a called strike, and it's 3-2. He thought he had ball 4. And, of course, the first pitch since they put the ball back in play was lined down the right field line. Almost hit Baez. It was a foul ball, and that ticked off Bobby Siegel. He got kicked out, and then the Miners were upset as well because Baez was taking a sweet time. Anyways, the payoff pitch headed home, and Baez takes up and away. A 1-out walk.
A good at-bat there from Baez. But to go back to that point and wrap that point up, I don't blame the frustration because, yes, Baez might be taking his sweet time, but at the same time, too, everyone has to be aware that the ball is actually put in play, and it sounds like maybe not everyone was aware of that.
But everyone now has turned the page, and hopefully
we hope.
Yeah, hopefully a calmer Sunday, and hopefully Evansville can grab a win. But base runner for J.R. Davis. He's hitting 3rd today. Davis batting .274 with 5 home runs and 33 runs batted in. From the stretch, Medea Villa looks toward first, kicks and pitches. Right down central, called strike.
Baez had 2 stolen bases on Friday night. He's got 15 total in the season, tied with Miles Gordon for the team lead. I guess technically the team lead. The leader on the season is still Gary Mattis, who has not been with the franchise for at least a month now. But he is a threat to run.
And they check on Baez over at first base. He's in standing up. Miners defensively have Mikey Reynolds in left, Justin Washington in center, Nilo Rijo in right. Juan Silverio plays third, Roland at short, Little at second, and Toro at first with Garland behind the plate. Here's the 0-1. That's a little bit high and inside, counts even on J.R. Davis.
Of course, the people listening on YouTube can't see the stream of which we're watching, but Baez getting a very aggressive lead at first base, daring the left-hander to pick off, and that's always an interesting game, especially when a lefty is on the mound. You don't want to get caught too far off the base.
He's inching out there even further, and the 1-1. That is inside again, 2-1. Medea Villa trying to work on the inner half of the plate and didn't miss by much those last 2 pitches.
Already to 15 pitches, too, after Baez and Mcnamee both worked a 3-2 count. Of course, Baez officially walking, but Davis in a hitter's count here, 2-1. A chance to maybe try to jump on a fastball. Might see a hit and run action coming here.
Be a good count to do that. Baez not running, and the 2-1 is lifted foul, first base side, count even.
He got the fastball just a little bit underneath of it, just a hair late. This is one of my favorite situations too, is what does the pitcher go with here? Do you try to get him to get the breaking ball down and in, but then you run the risk of a potential wild pitch or a pass ball, or just a tough ball for the catcher to throw if there is a steal attempt?
Baez, who walked, takes lead off of first base, and a 2-2 to J.R. Davis. Long pause. Now the left-hander pumps it home, and it's inside. 3-2, and now we'll see if they want to start Baez.
So 3 consecutive full count at bats here. Seems like the Otters are going to be patient.
Now 17 pitches so far through 3 batters. My guess will be they will start Baez.
That's what I was thinking too.
Here's the payoff pitch, and it is lined down the third base line, backhanded by Silverio. Long throw, and he gets Davis by a half a step. Great play by Juan Silverio, who ended up fielding that ball a step in foul territory after he caught it, had a long throw, and got Davis by a half a step. And Baez, who was off with that pitch, never stopped running, and he took third, so he goes first to third.
Went to first to third. Good base running there from Jeffrey Baez, but a great play by the third baseman, too, as you mentioned, really saving extra bases and for sure saving a run. If that ball gets by him into the corner, Baez is scoring easily, and Davis is likely standing at second base. But a chance here for Sinsley still to drive in a run. This is something that the Otters struggled with on Friday night. 2-out hitting, especially with runners in scoring position. We'll see if Sinsley can come through.
It's a lefty-lefty matchup. Oh, the first pitch is high to Sinsley, ball 1. Sinsley has 33 RBIs, hitting .260, 10 home runs. The 1-0 is upstairs. You mentioned the struggles Friday night. Also struggles last night. The Otters left 11 guys on. They had situations where they had second and third twice with 1 out and couldn't get a run home.
That was kind of the story Friday night as well. They could keep getting runners on. They got them over, but they just couldn't get them in.
Timeout's called as Sinsley, I think, had something get in his eye. He takes a step out of the batter's box and wipes his face with his gray uniform. Here's the 2-0. Cut on a miss, 2-1.
I like that swing from Sinsley. You got to pitch up in the zone. Just kind of misread it a little bit and whiffed at it, but I like the aggressive mindset. And a 2-0 count with a runner on third base and 2 away, you're trying to get a base hit and bring that runner home.
The 2-1 is slapped foul down the left field line. So from 2-0 to 2-2. As Medea Villa trying to post a 0 here in the top of the first.
He's definitely had to work for it.
Baez a pretty good lead off at third with Villa working from the wide. Something in the dirt that kicks away. Baez could be aggressive. The 2-2. There's a pitch in the dirt, but it's blocked by the catcher Garland. Another full count.
So I feel like a broken record, but the first 4 batters of this game all working full counts. Just a great job by the Evansville hitters to really be patient, be selective of what they're going to swing at. For Sinsley here, you have to protect, but you know that he's probably going to try to go out of the zone.
Here's a 3-2, and it's a line drive into left field for a base hit. 2-out RBI single for Sinsley. That scores Baez 1-0 Evansville. Good piece of hitting by Sinsley. The pitch was down away, and he took it away for an RBI single.
Yeah, stayed down and threw on that baseball and just shot it out to left field. A good job with the lefty-lefty approach, and now we get to see the Otters catcher Devin Buckner come up to bat with a runner on first.
34 RBIs for Sinsley. Here is Buckner.
Preston called him Mr. Bubblegum up here in the press box, and that was a fun story from the last homestand. I'll tell it after this first pitch.
Low ball 1.
If you weren't here, there was a player that got ejected. I forget who the first for Washington. Got ejected and threw a bucket of bubble gum from the dugout. So Buckner goes over there and he grabs one piece of bubble gum, opens it up on the field, and pops it in his mouth. It got a nice little roaring applause from the fans and a laugh from all of us up in the press box.
Here's the 1-0. Buckner swings and misses. Counts even.
I think the best part was, too, that Evansville was really struggling that night against Washington. Nothing was really going their way, and that kind of made it realize that while this is a competitive game, sometimes it's about having fun like that.
Sinsley off of first base with 2 away in the 1-1. That's a strike to Buckner.
This has really been a good first inning, as Villa is almost to 30 pitches. He's at 27, about to have number 28 coming home. And they did get a run across, too.
Here's the next to Buckner. That's a curve in the dirt. One thing I've noticed, Villa, a lot of his breaking balls, they really haven't been competitive pitches. He's missing badly with them, so the Otters sit more so on the fastball, especially that curve. I don't think he's thrown the curveball for a strike yet.
I have not seen it for a strike, no. It seems like he's working with a curveball and maybe even a slider, because that first pitch to Mcnamee at the very beginning of the game looked like a slider low and in. But he has not really had great command over the breaking ball so far.
The kick and the 2-2. That's inside. It's a full count. He keeps trying to pick that inside corner, but the umpire is not budged.
He's not getting it. And that's something definitely to note, because at some point as a hitter, you can kind of start to dismiss the inside pitch and really look to take away the outside part of the plate, and that can be dangerous for the pitcher.
Here's the payoff. Right down the middle called. Strike 3. Buckner, I think he tried to sell it, even though it was right down the middle. He was fooled by the pitch, and the inning is over. It took 29 pitches for Villa to get to the top of the first inning. Otters score thanks to a walk by Baez and a 2-out RBI single by Sinsley. Sussex County bats for the first time, 1-0 Evansville, the Otters Digital Network. Well, just like last night, the Otters score a run in the top of the first inning, and they lead 1-0 as we see the Miners bat for the first time this afternoon. And the starting pitcher for Evansville is Austin Gossman. He's a right-hander, and some pretty good numbers for him. 4-3 with a 2.64 ERA over 61 and third innings, just 18 walks, and he struck out 57. Gossman will face Mikey Reynolds, Kevin Rowland, and Juan Silverio. Mikey Reynolds hitting over 300 at 304. 3 home runs and 30 RBIs. Reynolds had a big RBI double last night with his team up 3-2. Gave them an insurance run after Evansville started to creep back into the game. He was 1 for 4 last night as he takes a first pitch strike from Gossman.
On Friday night, he went hitless. He did drive in a run with a bases-loaded walk and later scored after reaching on an error. So he's been a little bit of a thorn as far as getting on base against the Evansville Otters this series.
Pitch in the dirt to Reynolds. 1-1. New baseball tossed out to Gossman.
Good to see the Otters give Gossman a one-run lead to work with when he gets on the mound. Somebody that's been a lot better of late. Hopefully he can have another good outing fresh off that All-Star appearance.
Here's the 1-1. That's low and outside. And Reynolds ahead in the count.
You had mentioned his 2.64 ERA. It's third in the Frontier League for best ERA. So the USI product has certainly been pretty good.
Here's the 2-1. Pitch is inside. 3 balls and 1 strike on Reynolds. Do you know what year did he graduate from USI? It's been recently, right?
I want to say it was 2019. I could be wrong. I can see if I can find that real quick.
Okay.
So it was even 2021.
I've had a hard time remembering years ever since the whole COVID shut things down. Everything just kind of jumbles together.
It's very difficult.
It's a full count on Mikey Reynolds, following the trend to the top of the first inning. And Gossman from the set position, letter high set, the 3-2. Just a bit low, ball 4, below the knees.
Tried to catch that low and away corner with the fastball and just couldn't quite get it up enough. Definitely not the way you want to start the bottom half of the first inning after you get a run in the top half.
You just highlighted that Gossman, it's just 19 walks this year for him, over 61 in the third. So normally fairly good command. And in stands Kevin Rowland, the shortstop, hitting 192 with 2 home runs and 15 RBIs. Reynolds, decent size lead at first. And it's a swing and a miss from Rowland, 0-1. We'll set the Otters' defensive alignment for you. It is Rosario in left. It's Brian Rosario. Miles Gordon in center. Elijah Mcnamee plays right field. Anthony Torellis at third. George Khalil at short. J.R. Davis at second. Steven Sinsley at first, with Devin Buckner behind the plate. And Gossman, the snap throw to first, checking on Reynolds.
Reynolds this year, 16 stolen bases, just been caught twice. So he is a bit of a threat to run. And he's got a pretty good size lead over there at first base.
They check on him. And he's back in safely. Well, this is about the time of the year you start to take a look at the standings and pay attention to things. The final game of the regular season is September 4th. So essentially about 5 weeks left in the season. The 0-1 pitch is hit foul, I believe.
It was a strike, I know that.
0-2. We didn't see the pitch from the camera.
No,
angle.
we didn't. They didn't switch away from the pitcher's camera. Yeah, that last series, or the last two series of the year, could be pretty important. They'll be at Washington for 3 games, and then they wrap it up at Florence. Florence, of course, a winnable series, but as always, as you've known this before, that sometimes the teams that are out of it just like to play spoiler.
Here's the 2-strike pitch. The runner goes from first, and it's a fly ball sent out toward left center field. Moving back is Rosario, and he makes the catch. A little shy of the warning track, and Reynolds, who is off with that pitch, has to retreat back to first. One away as Roland flies out.
Pretty good play there by Rosario to track that ball down in the gap on the run, make the catch kind of over his shoulder as he extended his arm, and that could have been dangerous if that ball gets down in the gap. That game's probably tied now because Reynolds, with good speed at first base, is likely to score.
We were talking about that series with Florence on the road, and it seems like I don't have any data to back this up, but it seems like Evansville struggles at Florence.
Yeah, I feel like that as well. I know that during our time in 2016, it felt like a common theme. Maybe it's just something about the ballpark they don't like there. I don't know.
I mean, Florence, not a good team this year. They're 23-35 in last place in the West. But Evansville, they've lost 4 in a row. The problem is Washington's won 4 in a row. So when Evansville was tied for first right before the All-Star break, now they're 4 games back of first in the West. Washington 38-21, Evansville 34-25. Then you have Schaumburg kind of lurking behind Evansville, 31-26. The team to watch right now is Gateway, a game below 500. The good news is Gateway has not gained any ground on Evansville because they've lost 4 in a row as well. Runner goes. The 1-0 pitch is a called strike. The throw to second is on the money. Safe. Reynolds just got in under the tag. Throw is on target. Bang, bang play. But Reynolds is called safe.
Yeah, really a great throw and really a quick snap tag from J.R. Davis, too, but just a tremendous jump from Reynolds as he picks up stolen base number 17 on the season.
I think he just got the hand in there.
It was an effort by J.R. Davis to slap that tag down very quickly. Just could not get it, but as you mentioned, the throw was on target. It was about as perfectly executed as possible, just a better jump from the runner.
Here's the pitch to Silverio. It's outside, 2-1. Silverio made his first appearance with the Miners last night, went 2 for 4, and drove in a run. Pretty big fella in the right-handed batter's box. 1-0 Evansville, bottom of the first inning. Leadoff walk by Reynolds, fly out to left, and now a 2-1 till Silverio. Cut on a miss. He chased one outer half the plate.
Be good to see Gossman somehow get a strikeout here against Silverio because David Mayberry on deck is probably their best hitter in the lineup. He had the walk-off single on Friday night, and he possesses a lot of power, too, at the plate.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Good pitch by Gossman. Outer half the plate, some tailing action, and he picks up his first strikeout. There's 2 outs.
First German-American bank strikeout. But that was a good breaking ball low and away to get Silverio to chase, and now you have David Mayberry coming up, as I mentioned, the DH. He was hitting .357 coming into the series, and he showed what he could do on Friday night, that walk-off single, but as you can see there on the screen, he is a big individual. Possesses a lot of power in that bat.
7 home runs, 34 RBIs, batting .349. And with a runner at second base, 2 outs, the pitch, high, ball 1. Now on the east side of the standings, with Sussex County, they're in third right now, 33-26. They have a 2-game lead on a playoff spot over New York. Ottawa just above them at 36-24, and the Capitales are in first. They have a pretty sizable lead. They're 43-16, best record in the Frontier League. Fly ball, deep left field. Moving back is Rosario. He was tested in this first inning, but again, he makes a fairly good running catch just shy of the warning track, and the inning is over. Leadoff walk, Reynolds stranded at second base after 1. Otters 1, Miners nothing. Otters Digital Network. Miles Gordon digs in, leading off the top of the second. He takes a called strike on the outside corner. Gordon, Khalil, and Torellis, 6, 7, and 8 due up here against Medea. The 0-1 check swing, pitch outside. They appeal, and believe it should be no swing.
Don't think he went.
Count is even at 1-1. Gordon batting .278, 7 home runs, and 27 RBIs. It is 1-0 Evansville thanks to a 2-out RBI single by Steven Sinsley in the top of the first.
Mentioned back in the pregame, the thing I noted most was Mcnamee going up to 1 and Gordon dropping to 6. Now he gets a chance to still be a leadoff batter here to start the second inning.
Gordon swings and misses, 1-2.
Miles Gordon's one of those players that get on base real quick. He has an opportunity to swipe a bag.
Pitch outside, counts even.
I'm not going to lie, I wasn't sure if that was going to be a replay or not. They kept showing a replay graphic like it was going to be a replay. But it's a 2-2 count.
Now a 2-2 pitch. Little tapper foul just behind home plate as Gordon stays alive.
Of course, unforeseen circumstances kind of forced us into a quick remote broadcast this weekend, but we are at the mercy of the streams. So far, I've liked their stream. Pretty well run. A lot of good camera angles.
Here's a ground ball foul. I mean, the clarity of the picture they've been providing is very good. Sometimes the camera angles aren't as smoothly as you would like, but hey,
right.
Yeah. Guess it can't be perfect. Could be a whole lot worse.
It could be.
2-2 pitch to Gordon, leading off the top of the second. And it's popped up into short center field. Out is the second baseman. In comes the right fielder, and it's actually the right fielder, Rijo, who makes the catch. That was in short right center field. And there is one away. The way the camera broke, I thought it was going to be Washington coming in to make the catch, but instead the ball drifts to Rijo, and there's one away. Batting seventh is George Khalil, the shortstop, hitting .247, 5 home runs, 18 RBIs. Pitches outside, ball 1 to Khalil.
George Khalil this year, as you mentioned, hitting .247. He's kind of had some up and down moments throughout the year. He showcased a little bit of power in his bat, but it'd be good to see him get things going at the plate.
Pitch inside, 2-0 on Khalil. Did have an error last night at short.
He had one on Friday night, too, in that 9th inning.
Was it a fielding error or a throwing error?
It was a throwing error. He overthrew Zach Bierman to allow the eventual winning run to reach base.
But he had a throwing error last night. First batter of the first inning, and he sailed it, I mean, well over the first baseman's head. Pitch is high to Khalil.
Yeah, that throw that he had on Friday night wasn't really a bad throw. It was just a little bit high and allowed the runner to reach. And then to kind of double it down, they were trying to sacrifice bunt.
Slashed foul, full count now.
As Augie Gallardo fielded it, and it kind of went right through Bierman's glove, it looked like. So then the first two runners reach with the error, and then the next batter reached base, Silverio. I think it was with a base hit, but they didn't send the runner, and then it was a walk-off single from there.
Payoff pitch is bounced foul, wide of the third. Otters fans, you can stay up to date with the latest news and promotions from the Evansville Otters by visiting EvansvilleOtters.com and subscribing to the Otters e-newsletter by clicking Join Our E-News on the EvansvilleOtters.com homepage. Also, don't forget to follow the Otters on Twitter at Follow them on Twitter at Evil Otters, on Instagram at Evansville Otters, and like the Evansville Otters on Facebook. The 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Khalil strikes out. That is the third strikeout for Medea. And there's 2 away.
They just elevated the fastball here, and Khalil just a little bit too late on it, as I'm sure he was looking for the breaking ball with what Medea has been trying to do with 2 strikes throughout today's game, and he changed it up with a high fastball and got him swinging.
He's now 3 in a row retired after the RBI single with 2 outs from Sinsley last inning. And it brings in Anthony Torellis, the Evansville third baseman, batting 8th. Strike 1 on Torellis. He's a .241 batter, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. The 0-1. Breaking ball. That grabs the outside corner. 2 strikes, and Medea Villa, he needs a quick 1-2-3 inning after a lot of pitches in that first.
Looks like a significantly different pitcher between the first and second inning. We saw that on Friday night with Studeville as well when Zane and I were doing the game. Studeville really struggled that first inning, then he settled down in the second.
There's the 0-2, jammed a bit, out into short right center field, and the second baseman Webb Little backpedaling makes the catch, and it's a 1-2-3 top of the second inning for Michael Medea Villa. Sussex County hits in the bottom of the second inning. It's 1-0 Otters on the Otters Digital Network. Miners bat in the second. It's 1-0 Evansville alongside Jordan Fisher. I'm Jevin Redmond. Glad you could join us on this warm Sunday, whether you're in Evansville or in Augusta, New Jersey. Webb Little digs in, facing Austin Gossman, and he delivers. Outside corner, called strike. Little batting .327, a home run, 5 RBIs. That first inning, Gossman walked the leadoff man and then got a flyout, a strikeout, and a flyout. Riho and Garland to follow for the Miners. The 0-1 pitch out of the zone, counts even 1-1. Little bats from the left side, slightly open stance. Gossman brings home a 1-1. Jammed him. It's fisted toward the first baseman on the ground. And the underhand tossed. Sinsley to Gossman covering. 3-1 on the collaboration for the first out.
Good to see Gossman get the leadoff batter there. He navigated through the trouble in the first inning that you had kind of alluded to, walking the leadoff batter. And then Reynolds stole second base to get to score position with only 1 out. Now you get to start with pretty much a clean inning now. You get the leadoff batter, see if you can get the second one and maybe try to get a quick 1-2-3. Kind of getting a little bit of a groove.
In stands, Nilo Riho, the right fielder, batting .295, 17 RBIs, no home runs on the season for Riho. From the stretch, the pitch from Gossman. Oh, inside, nearly clipped him, ball 1. Who's in town in the 6-game homestand? New York and who else?
That would be, let's see, we are here in New York and Tri-City.
Okay.
So it'll be 3 games against New York, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Tri-City on the weekend.
Zay and I were talking last night. It's kind of hard to believe that that'll be the final full homestand early before school starts. So bring the kids out before
that's a good point.
School gets underway again. It's right around the corner, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, they'll have a 3-game homestand the first weekend in August. And yeah, the next homestand is not until the 16th, 17th, 18th.
3 balls and no strikes on Nilo Rijo. Gossman's already walked 1 in the game.
Actually, looking at the schedule, August and September are filled with road games.
There's a called strike to Rijo.
They end the month between August and September with 15 road games and 12 home games.
There's a called strike again to Rijo from 3-0 to a full count.
Good job by Gossman here to battle back against Rijo. You got the leadoff man out. See if you can finish him off now and pick up the second out in this inning. Rijo does a good job of getting on base, so he's definitely going to be a difficult at-bat.
Here's the payoff to Rijo. Foul, back to the screen. Yeah, so what, 2 6-game homestands left and then a pair of 3-game homestands.
Yeah, you got a 6-game homestand starting on Tuesday, ending on Sunday, and then another 6-game homestand August 23rd through August 28th. Sandwiched between that is 2 3-game homestands, one on the weekend and one midweek. So you're running out of opportunities to see the Otters here at Bosse Field.
Another 3-2 to Rijo. Check swing. Did he go? He went. First base umpire says you went too far around. Strike 3. And that is the second strikeout for Gossman.
You get a German-American Bank strikeout there for Austin Gossman. Just a good job of kind of trying to nibble on the outside part of the plate, and Rijo just could not keep the bat back long enough. Called out on the check swing, and now a chance for Gossman to go 1-2-3 if he can retire Garland.
Garland is their catcher, batting 7th, hitting .258, 3 home runs and 17 RBIs. And from the stretch, the pitch inside, ball 1. Now, Evansville's bullpen heading into play today should be in very good shape. He had the All-Star break, and then last night, the starter went 7 innings. They used Bowles for the 8th, and that was it.
Yeah, on the previous night, too, they only used 3 pitchers as well, as Studeville ended up going 6 innings. Jacob Bowles pitched, I think it was an inning, a third, and Gallardo finished the last.
Pitch to Garland. That's high, and the count is 2-0.
I know one player in particular is going to be fresh. Be Mr. Sawyer. If this game gets to a situation where Evansville is trying to close it out, might get to see him try to nail down yet another save. Long way to go, though.
The 2-0 to Garland. That's right down central, a called strike.
Crowd's still filing in a little bit. We've seen the backdrop behind home plate fill up a little bit more. Still not a whole lot of fans there, but 90 degrees on a Sunday afternoon. It's going to be tough to get some people to the ballpark.
Tough, too, on a Sunday afternoon, whether it's good weather or not, just with everyone's schedule. And ground ball foul, third base side, 2-2. And I mentioned last night they had a good-sized crowd with Star Wars night. They had fireworks after the game, and it was cool because most of those seats behind home plate were full, and I'd say half of the people that were in the stands had lightsabers that were on.
That's pretty cool. I did see a picture when I was looking at the Miners Twitter account earlier, and the jerseys they wore last night were pretty sweet. I saw the big Yoda face on the picture that they posted.
It's a 2-2 count on Garland. Gossman trying for a 1-2-3 second. Brings it home, and it's a line drive out into right field. Mcnamee on the move. He can't get it. The ball drops to his right and rolls to the wall. It's a double for Nick Garland with 2 outs, and that is the first hit of the game for Sussex County.
And as Brandon Taylor would say, there goes the no-no. Just a good job of hitting there by Garland to take that pitch into the right center field gap. And I was talking with Zane about this on Friday. The dimensions of this ballpark are 330 to the down the foul lines and 395 to center, but that outfield looks so huge. The gaps are plentiful at Skyland Stadium.
So with 2 outs, RBI chance for Justin Washington. We saw his speed on display last night a couple of times. Ground ball foul, third base side, strike one. He's batting .226, a home run, 3 RBIs. You mentioned Brandon Taylor. He would say, there goes the no-no. When was the last no-hitter thrown at Bosse Field?
2018, August 11th, a
Combined no-hitter.
So August 11th, 2018.
Here's the one strike to Justin Washington. It's lifted fouled on the right field line. Now, I believe you mentioned Chavarria. He's now coaching at USI, right?
Yes.
He's on staff there.
Of course, we got to see him a little bit at USI when we were both there.
Preston says coaching Terre Haute Rex this summer, and USI has always done a good job with local talent, and their staff is filled with some local names now. You got Nick Gobert on staff, Jasper grad who played a couple of years at USI, and I get Seth LaRue. It's one of the LaRues. They're modern-day people. Here's the 0-2 pitch in the dirt. 1-2 on Washington.
Yeah, USI's got a pretty strong baseball program, have for a while, just in time for that jump to the OVC. I was thinking about it when I was talking to some people when USI first announced they were making the transition. I asked by a couple people, what sports do you think they'll be able to compete in, almost immediately? And I pointed towards baseball because they've shown success for so many years in a row. And that program is certainly well run, and I think they're looking to step in and continue that success at the Division I level.
Well, Gospin got the first 2 guys of this inning, then a double by Garland. Takes the lead off of second base, and the 1-2 to Washington. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Second strikeout in the inning for Gossman, number 3 in the game, and he strands a runner at second base for the second straight inning. After 2, it is Evansville 1, Sussex County nothing on the Otters Digital Network. This game moves to the top of the third inning. It is 1-0 Evansville. They'll send 9-1-2 up here in the top of the third. That is Rosario, Mcnamee, and Baez. And with the play-by-play of the third inning, here is Jordan Fisher.
Thank you, Jevin. We'll have Brian Rosario leading off, as you had mentioned, a switch hitter, 5'10", 165, making his professional debut, formerly with the University of Illinois Chicago.
Now a Valley member, Missouri Valley Conference, starting this year.
Rosario there was an all-league first-team selection in the Horizon League in 2021. He led the team with a .399 batting average and 67 hits overall in the season. Squares around a bunt, drops one down the third base side as a tough play for Silverio, and Rosario is aboard with his first base hit, a bunt single down the third base line. Wasted no time dropping one down. And the Otters get their leadoff man on.
Just a perfectly placed bunt. Third baseman was playing way back, so just had to get it down somewhere on that third base line. It's probably going to be a hit. And I also like, too, Rosario made sure he got the bunt down first before he took off running. Sometimes those guys get in a hurry, and that's where you pop it up or you miss
Especially when
it.
you're trying to surprise somebody. But Silverio did a good job of just barehanding it to begin with. But now that turns it back over to the top of the order for Elijah Mcnamee, the Edward Jones leadoff batter of the game. Mcnamee struck out swinging after working the count full in his first at-bat. And Rosario with a good lead at first. First pitch swinging for Mcnamee. It's a grounder through the left side of the infield. Back-to-back singles as the Otters are on business. Runners at first and second base with nobody out.
2 pitches, 2 singles.
I like to call that efficiency.
On the
That
right,
also brings up a power hitter in Jeffrey Baez.
say right guy up in this situation now. Baez, he'll be aggressive and get his money's worth with the type of swings he takes.
Well, in the pregame, again, we were talking about the lineup. Notice McNamee going leadoff spot, Gordon dropping down to 6, but you were like, Baez hitting 2. That's interesting. But, sometimes the thought is put one of your better hitters in the 2-hole to get him more at-bats, and now you get a chance where his power could pay off with one swing of the bat.
I don't think he'll be bunting.
No, I don't think he'll be bunting either. And
Well.
they call a balk, so now you have 2 runners in scoring position. So this inning kind of unraveling very quickly for Mediavilla. Baez walked and came around to score in its first inning. He went first to third on a ground out as he swings at the breaking ball 0-1. Steven Sinsley, of course, drove him in the top of the first with a good base hit the opposite field.
Baez last night had an RBI, sacrifice fly to center. He's a good hitter to have up there in terms of getting one to the outfield.
The 0-1 to Baez is that breaking ball misses low and away. Evens it at a ball and a strike. Baez on the season, as you mentioned earlier, 8 homers. Feels like he's not hitting the ball quite as well as he did last season when he first joined the team. But still has that threat. 1-1 down and in. It's now 2-1. Just 8 homers and 202 at-bats this season coming into today. Mcnamee stands at second. Rosario's at third after the balk from Mediavilla. And Mediavilla winds and fires. 2-1 misses low. It's now 3-1.
And this is where, if you're Evansville, you have to capitalize, not just get 1 run in it in this inning. This could be a big inning, create some separation, and something that they've struggled with the last couple of nights. Cashing in when the opportunity is there.
Well, each of the last 2 nights have been playing with their backs against the wall for most of the game. They did take the lead Friday night before relinquishing that in the 7th. As the 3-1 misses low and in, so Baez walks for the second time today at Deerhead Sidewalk Cafe and Bar. And that loads the bases for J.R. Davis.
Watching the mannerisms of Baez, almost looked like he was frustrated that he walked. I think he wanted to hit.
I think he wanted to hit, yeah, that's what it looked like. He's like, hey, throw me a pitch that I can hit. He swung at the first pitch and missed, and then 4 straight balls to load the bases. Now 52 pitches from Mediavilla. The Otters' second baseman now digs in from the right-hand side, J.R. Davis. He grounded out 5-3 his first at-bat. The lefty delivers, and swinging and missing at the first pitch is Davis, so it's 0-1. Starting to see the Otters get more aggressive in this inning. There were a lot of pitches being taken the first 2 innings. They flip it to the third and say, let's flip the game plan. The 0-1 bounces but blocked. As Garland keeps it in front of him, it's now 1-1.
Yeah, you've seen Mediavilla now 1 time through the lineup, so players have had those conversations. Maybe they've picked on something. They can recognize a certain pitch coming or in a certain location, and you mentioned being more aggressive. Sometimes that happens after you've seen the guy 1 time through.
A lot of talking from the home plate umpire towards the Miners dugout. Unsure what that could be about. The 1-1 laced into right center field. That's going to get down for a base hit, as that will score at least 1 run. Mcnamee now coming in as he will score standing up. Baez gets into third safely. Ball gets away, And J.R. Davis now gets into second base after the throw. So a 2 RBI single for J.R. Davis. And that puts runners at second and third. Otters lead it 3-0.
So Davis now with 35 RBIs on the season. That'll go down as a 2-run single, and then Davis moves to second, I would assume, on the E9.
You think they gave him an error for that?
Yeah, because Davis had stopped around first. The ball trickled away from the third baseman a bit. And then he broke towards second once that throw got away. At least that's how I would have scored it.
Well, it'd be interesting to see how the official scorer scores it. Because I'm with you on that. But
Well, he at least went to second on the throw.
Yeah, he advanced to second
Yeah.
on the throw for sure. As the first pitch to Steven Sinsley was outside for a ball. Regardless, it's 2 runners in scoring position for Evansville. And a chance to, as you said, kind of blow this game open. Steven Sinsley already has 1 RBI single today. He's looking for another one. The 1-0. Fouled off. It's now even at ball and strike. So they did call it an E9, so good call on you. It's a 1-1 count as Medea finally has his sign and delivers. That ball gets away from the catcher Garland and doesn't look like anybody's going to be going anywhere as Baez stays put at third base. 2 balls and a strike.
So this inning for Medea pretty similar to the first, where he's having a hard time commanding the curveball or any breaking pitches. Second inning, where he worked a 1-2-3 frame, Jordan mentioned that he looked like a different pitcher while he was commanding his breaking pitches. So it's been back and forth for him.
It's funny how in the game of baseball, the story for a pitcher can come down to just that, just the execution or lack thereof of one pitch in their arsenal and how different it can make an inning, for that pitcher. The 2-1 fouled off, skied down the third base line. It's even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. And there are 2 runners on, so I don't know if I would consider this deuces wild because there's not 2 outs, but a lot of 2s up on the board.
It's just deuces. They're not wild.
It's just deuces. They're not wild. Pitch number 60 about to come home as Medea delivers, and that one fouled down the first base side, and a fan's going to get a souvenir there in the front row. We'll do it again.
Those fans sitting on the first base side. Looks like they were roasting.
0 shade. No umbrellas or anything to protect shade. Two swung on a miss at a high breaking ball. Sinsley goes down swinging. That's the first out of this inning, and then I'll turn it over to Devin Buckner.
He got a strikeout or a swing and miss with that curve. It was a hanging pitch. Sinsley probably wishes he had that one back.
I almost wonder if he got surprised by it with how high it was.
Could be.
So in steps the Otters catcher Devin Buckner. He went down looking to end the first inning. He thought he had ball 4. See if he gets more aggressive here with 2 runners in scoring position and 1 away. First pitch swinging, broken bat as that's fielded by the shortstop Rollo, and out number 2. That's also a broken bat. We got a read for that.
Got to read for everything.
We do have a read for everything. So there goes some more lumber. Go get your new lumber at Niehaus Lumber.
I don't think the runner from third in this situation would have had any chance to score, but I've always kind of gone by the philosophy, you have second and third with 1 out. I like to go on contact, make them make a play, because at worst you have first and third with 2 outs. I know it does take a man out of scoring position, but still you have a first and third situation you can maybe steal and take second again, so you don't really lose anything by trying to score.
Right.
Again, I think Baez would have been out, but still you make the defense make a play.
Or you could at least kind of take a couple steps and try to fake that you're going to go home and maybe get that shortstop to look over and take us focus a little bit away from the play at first base. As the first pitch to Miles Gordon is in there for a called strike.
Some teams, they'll break right on contact. If you're out by a mile at home, they'll just stop getting a run down. You allow the runner to get to second, and you're in the same spot.
Right. Just make them make a play that is not routine. The 0-1 to Gordon. A good looping curveball as it's in there for strike 2.
It's one of those situations, too. I know Evansville has scored 2 runs in this inning, and you have a 3-0 lead, but had a 3-0 lead in second and third, nobody out. I'd like to get more.
You definitely don't want to run into outs, but I'm with you in the sense that you want to try to make them make a play. The 0-2 to Miles Gordon. Misses low and away. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
And the only reason I said that, or for a certain situation, would be with one out like that instance. If there's nobody out, you got to make sure the ball gets through the infield then.
I do believe we've seen 3 straight breaking balls in this at-bat to Miles Gordon. Curious if Medea Villa is setting him up for a fastball high here. We'll find out. The 1-2. It's just off the outside of the plate. He went with the fastball, but it was low and away. Now 2-2. Now deuces are wild. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 away with 2 runners on for Miles Gordon, and he lines one out to center field. Moving back is Washington, and he will settle underneath of it for out number 3. So the Otters do some damage. They get 2 across the inning, but they leave 2 stranded as they now extend their lead to 3-0. As we move to the bottom half of the third, 9-1-2 due up for the Miners when we come back on the Otters Digital Network. We move to the bottom of the third inning, where it'll be 9-1-2 due up for the Miners. Alex Torel then back to the top of the order for Mikey Reynolds and Kevin Rowland. Austin Gossman now working with a 3-0 lead. Jordan Fisher alongside me, Jevin Redmond. Preston Leinenbach up here in the Bossy Field press box. We are calling this game remotely from Evansville. Otters are in Augusta, New Jersey, wrapping up a 3-game road trip. As the first pitch home to Torel is a called strike. It's 0-1.
Where's the ice cream at? I was promised ice cream, Preston.
We might have to go down and get some ice cream in the middle. It's starting to get kind of hot up here.
Maybe after this half inning we'll do that.
That wouldn't be a bad idea at all. Alex Torel standing in the left-hand side of the batter's box, hands high above his head as Gossman delivers the 0-1, and it just misses low. It's a ball and strike.
Umpire kind of has a small zone, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. It was kind of that way on Friday night, too. We never really did get the umpires' names on Friday. I don't know if you got them on Saturday. Gossman has his sign as the 1-1 comes home and fouled off down the third base side. It'll be 1-2. Gossman so far in his first trip through the order, 3 German American Bank strikeouts. Also got a couple flyouts and a ground out. Has allowed 1 hit and 1 walk through the first 8 hitters. He's currently up 1-2 in this at-bat to Alex Torel. The delivery swung on and missed. Another German American Bank strikeout for Austin Gossman.
Hey, if you have a group of friends or coworkers who wish to come to historic Bossy Field and enjoy an Otters home game, contact the Otters front office to reserve a party deck on the Corona Extra Patio Deck. The Corona Extra Patio Deck is one of the best places to watch the game with an all-you-can-eat menu and unlimited bottled water and soft drinks. Call 812-435-8686 for more information on how you can book your next celebration.
I'm unsure if Zane asked you this question last night, but he asked me on Friday night if I reserved the patio deck, how many cheeseburgers could I eat in the all-I-could-eat food there? First pitch to Mikey Reynolds is a called strike, 0-1.
How many could I eat, or how many could I eat before I become miserable?
That's what I said. I said maybe 4 or 5 years ago I could, eat at least 3 or 4, but I'm probably good at most 2. The 0-1 from Gossman has a long framing job there from Buckner, but it's still a ball and strike.
I think I could do 3, and then the 4th one I'd probably start to get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But if I had to, I could probably eat a 5th.
Yeah. If someone were to bet me money on how many I could eat, I'm sure I could get to whatever that number is, within reason. If someone's like, I bet you $20 you can't eat 10 cheeseburgers, I'm just going to go ahead and not take that bet. 1-1, a called strike. It's now 1-2.
Just remember growing up as a kid thinking if you ate a whole Big Mac, you were pretty special. Mm-hmm. And now you eat a Big Mac in about 4 bites.
Yeah, no kidding. 1 ball, 2 strikes as Gossman looking for another strikeout here in the inning. And just off the edge of the plate. It'll be even at 2-2. I've been trying to, as I get a little bit older, be more conscious of not overeating. So, at this point now, yeah, it's like 1, maybe 2 cheeseburgers and I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be a fun event out there at the patio deck. 2-2 lined into right field as that'll be another base hit for the Miners. That ball fielded by Mcnamee and thrown back in the infield. As once again Mikey Reynolds on first base, this time with 1 away here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. He walked in his first at-bat, and we'll see if he'll be off to the races once again, as he did have a successful steal in that 1st inning. That single was so nice they had to show it twice.
3 base runners in the game for the Miners, and 2 of them come from Reynolds.
The other base runner was Nick Garland, who also reached second base in the 2nd inning, much like Reynolds in the 1st, but both of them were stranded. That brings up Kevin Rowland, the Miners shortstop, batting from the right side as he swings to the first pitch fastball, and it's 0-1. Rowland flew out to left field in his first at-bat. They had the hit and run on with Reynolds off on a pitch. And Rowland really smoked it to left field. It was a great play by Rosario in left for the Otters. Quick pick off over to first base as the ball gets away. And Mikey Reynolds will advance to second base. I'd assume this would be an E1. But we didn't get a good look at the camera work of that, as it's always difficult to flip over there really quick when a pickoff is coming through. But that puts a runner in scoring position with 1 away.
Back to our eating conversation. I was just thinking, it's kind of funny how the world works. So whenever you're growing up as a kid, like, you just eat a lot, you don't care, you don't pay much attention, and then in the middle stages of your life, you feel bad about if you eat a lot of food. I think I'm like us with our age, we're kind of in that stage. And then you get to an age where you just don't care anymore and you let it go.
Yeah, you just don't even care. Just eat as much as you want. Dropping down a bunt on the right side is Rowland, as that's going to move the runner to third base.
I don't know why he was bunting there, but
yeah, I don't know if that was more of a catch him by surprise bunt for single attempt, or if that was a fairly foolish one-out sacrifice. But either way, the runner's at third base now with 2 away.
I mean, he was probably bunting for a hit. It was just an odd spot to do that.
Bunt.
He was trying to push it past the pitch in that no man's land between first and second, but you don't see that work out very often.
Right. And to your point earlier when you talked about Rosario's bunt, it felt like Rowland kind of rushed that, trying to catch him by surprise. And so it made it a little bit easier for Gossman to field coming off the mound. First pitch to the third baseman, Juan Silverio, is up and in for ball 1. Silverio had 3 hits on Friday night, 2 hits last night, as he has been a good addition for the Miners. Ball low and away, now 2-0. This is another situation, too, where I would anticipate Mikey Reynolds being aggressive if a ball gets past Buckner behind the plate, because there's a little bit of room behind home plate. It's not super close to home plate, the backstop is, but it's also not like a taxi ride like Bill McCune would say. The 2-0. Grounded back up the middle over the head of Gossman into center field, as that will allow the runner to score. A 2-out RBI single from Juan Silverio moves this game to 3-1.
Saw Gossman pound his fist into his mitt. The ball was chopped over his head. He had a chance to get to it. It wasn't an easy play by any means, but he was just a tick late from snagging that out of the air, and he was frustrated. He allowed a 2-out run to score, and it's a 3-1 game. It's a big swing in this game, too, because I was going to mention put a start by the top of the third when Evansville didn't get any more runs across. Had second and third, nobody out, already 2 runs in. And so now it's a 3-1 game when really it could be 4-0, 5-0.
Well, and we've talked about this man coming to the plate, David Mayberry, a couple times. He has 7 homers this year. He's got a very good bat at the plate. One swing of the bat could tie this game up as he comes up with 2 outs. He laces one into right field as Mcnamee moves back, and he reaches up on the run at the warning track for the 3rd out. So a loud 3rd out, but Gossman does work out of the inning as he keeps it a 3-1 game. We head back to the top of the 4th inning. Khalil, Torellis, and Rosario due up for the Otters 7-8-9 when we come back on the Otters Digital Network. We are back to the top of the 4th inning as Evansville has a 3-1 lead as George Khalil digs in for his 2nd at-bat. It'll be Khalil, Torellis, and Rosario 7-8-9 due up for the Evansville Otters as the Otters shortstop will look to get his first hit of the ball game. He squares around a bunt and pops it up to the pitcher as Medea Villa does actually catch it, so a 1-pitch, 1-out pop-up on the bunt attempt for Khalil as he's quickly retired. And that'll bring up the 3rd baseman, Anthony Torellis. Make sure you stay up to date with the latest news and promotions from the Evansville Otters by visiting EvansvilleOtters.com and subscribing to the Otters e-newsletter by clicking Join Our E-News on the EvansvilleOtters.com homepage. Also, don't forget to follow the Otters on Twitter at Evil Otters on Instagram, at Evansville Otters, and like the Otters on Facebook. First pitch to Torellis is low for ball 1. Torellis popped out to the 2nd baseman his first at-bat as the 1-0 winding delivery as Medea Villa quickly gets it back to a ball and a strike. Torellis hitting just .241 this season. He's got an on base of .319, as he has done a good job of working some walks. As the 1-1 is a bit high, it's now 2-1. Villa again working quickly as the 2-1 line found on the left side. It's now 2-2. Also, Otters fans, 2022 brings new opportunities to catch all the Frontier League action. Be sure to check out the Frontier League and your Evansville Otters on Flow Sports, the official streaming partner of the Frontier League. Never miss a game and follow along all the way to the championship. Just visit EvansvilleOtters.com for links to watch and subscribe today for all Frontier League and Flow Sports content. 2-2 swung on and missed as Torellis goes down swinging for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up the number 9 hole hitter, Brian Rosario. He singled and came around to score in the third inning. But Villa trying to work a quick 1-2-3 much like he did in the second inning. Also want to give a shout out to Preston Leinenbach for supplying some ice cream here in between innings, as I'll get to enjoy this Twix ice cream bar hopefully within the next couple minutes. Brian Rosario watches first pitch strike. It's 0-1. Rosario, as I mentioned earlier, hailing from the University of Illinois, Chicago. Led the Flames in batting average and hits, tying the team for second with 3 triples. As it's now a 1-1 count as that ball gets past the catcher. He only played 1 season at Illinois, Chicago, it looks. Or excuse me, no, he played 2 seasons there, but they don't have his stats from the 2022 season. As the 1-1 missed, it's now 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. Actually, I guess that previous pitch was a called strike, so now it's a 2-2 count. Devin Redmond taking a little bit of walk around the ballpark here in the top of the 4th inning, as he's enjoying the sunshine here at Bosse Field. Grounded left side as that pitch, or the grounder, excuse me, is muffed by Roland, so an E6 will allow Rosario to reach base safely. And that extends the inning back to the top of the order for Elijah Mcnamee. Mcnamee today, 1 for 2, a single and a run scored. Struck out swinging his first at-bat to begin the ball game. He did reach base with that base hit, and then reached second base on a balk later on during Jeffrey Baez's at-bat. Came in to score on J.R. Davis's 2-run single. First pitch to Mcnamee, in there for strike 1. It's a 3-1 Otters lead. 2 away, runner at first base is Rosario after the error on the shortstop Roland. Mcnamee trying to spark a 2-out rally. Swings and fouls this one off. Going to be 0-2. Take a quick look at the Frontier League scoreboard. Lake Erie trails at Ottawa 10-1 in the bottom of the 6th. Trois-Rivières leading Washington at home 4-2. And the host of games just now getting underway. Florence at New York, Windy City at New Jersey. One other game going on right now is a quick pickoff attempt over at first base, not in time. Bottom of the 4th inning, Empire State at Joliet, knotted up at 2. 2 more games later tonight. Gateway will be at Tri-City. That game starts at 5 o'clock Eastern. And then Schaumburg plays at Quebec, as that'll be a 5:05 Eastern start time. Pitch to Mcnamee, fouled off to the right side. We'll do it again at 0-2. Oh, 2 count, 2 away, as Rosario is on first base. A long look from Villa. Pitch number 79 coming home momentarily. A very long pause. Now the delivery, as this one is flown out into right field. And that is caught by the right fielder, Rijo. And that'll end the top half of the 4th inning. So the Evansville Otters get a runner on base with 2 away in the inning thanks to an error, but Medea Villa works around it. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Little Rijo Garland due up for the Miners when we come back on the Otters Digital Network. Quickly moving to the bottom of the 4th inning. Webb Little leading things off for the Sussex County Miners as they trail this one 3-1. Little in his first at-bat grounded out to the first baseman Sinsley, who tossed over to Gossman for the 3-1 ground out. As Little bats from the left side and watches the first pitch low for ball 1.
Got breaking news.
What's the breaking news?
The cookies and cream Dippin' Dots are still excellent.
Oh, I didn't know we still had cookies and cream Dippin' Dots. That's what took you so long to get back up here. Okay. The 1-0 swung on and missed a big hack from Little.
I made
Now
a
1-1.
trip around Bossy Field a little bit too. Walked down there around the first and second base area.
I said to Preston off the air, I know it wasn't a phone call because your phone was up here. Figured you were taking a little stroll. You didn't miss much in the top of the 4th. Of course, I caught you up off the air, but the Otters went quickly. Rosario reached with a 2-out error, and then Mcnamee flew out to end the inning. Gossman has his sign, the 1-1, as that's grounded foul down the third base side. It's now 1-2. Gossman's only run allowed came back in the bottom of the 3rd inning. It was an unearned run, as he tried to pick off Mikey Reynolds at first base and threw it away. That allowed Reynolds to reach second base, and he later came around to score. So still no earned runs, but 1 run on the board for the Miners. Buckner setting up low and in as the 1-2 misses up and in. 2-2. Looks like that breaking ball got away from Gossman a little bit. Final game in Sussex County for the weekend. Otters dropped the first 2 in heartbreaking fashion. They're trying to salvage a game before they start a 6-game homestand at Bossy Field starting on Tuesday. 2-2 just off the edge of the plate. It's now 3-2. You had mentioned it. The home plate umpire seeming to have a little bit of a small strike zone. Buckner's been trying to frame those pitches. I don't think he's gotten a single one yet, though, to be called strike.
Yeah, the corners on both sides have not been there. You have to throw it in the heart of the zone to get a call.
Realistically, when you're playing in the baseball games, you just want it to be consistent. So that's all you can really ask for. 3-2, chopped to the right side, as that is fielded by J.R. Davis. He'll underhand it to Sinsley, and that's out number 1.
Yeah, it's been consistent. It's just been a tight zone.
Well, normally you would think that would lead to a lot of offense. if you're forcing pitchers to basically throw it over the heart of the plate. But so far, both these pitchers have done a good job of navigating it.
Only thing we've really seen that correlates with that is some deep counts.
Mm-hmm. Gossman now at 55 pitches after that last one. Medea Villa, I think, is close to 80 pitches through 4. Nilo Rijo, the Miners right fielder, steps in. He's 0 for 1 today with a swinging strikeout. He worked to count full in his last at-bat before going down swinging. Gossman's first pitch home. Chopped foul down the third base side, 0-1.
My question is, who writes on the marker board to our left?
Well, a couple different people. Of course, the hashtag Rock the Planet's been up there for quite a while, and that will never come down. There are some other comments on there, too, about Indiana football that I'm sure Zane does not appreciate.
I know one person that didn't write it.
Yeah, that's definitely not Zane. The 0-1 flown into center field. Moving back is Gordon to his left. Just a few steps as he hauls it in for out number 2.
In reference to Zane, 40 days now.
Is it 40 days?
Only reason I know that is because he said it was 41 last night.
I like to randomly ask him, so Zane, how many days? And he'll just blurt it out. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. That brings up the Miners catcher Nick Garland as he doubled in his first at-bat. Just one of 3 hits so far that Gossman has surrendered. Garland was the first base hit of the game for Sussex County. Mikey Reynolds picked up the second one in the top or the bottom of the third, and then Silverio had the third hit that drove in Reynolds. First pitch upstairs, ball 1.
They were showing a shot of the Otters dugout. You had Coach Siegel, Peterson, and McCauley all together. I know they've been together for a long time. Has that been the only staff that Andy's had? Is those 2 guys? Because they were together in 2016 when I was here. So do you know what the first year was that all 3 of them were together?
1-0 high fly ball left field as Rosario moves back towards the wall. He's at the warning track. He leaps, and the ball is over the wall, a home run. As a solo shot for Nick Garland, his second hit of the day. He's officially on hashtag Cycle Watch, and it's now a 3-2 game.
Well, good effort by Rosario in left. Made a leaping attempt. Almost lost his glove over the wall. But the ball just snuck out of here. Good swing by Garland, and all of a sudden it's a 1-run game. It's a game where it feels like Evansville has controlled.
Mm-hmm.
But you look up there, it's just a 3-2 contest.
I do believe Preston is researching that question Jevin was asking before the solo shot from the Miners catcher. That brings up Justin Washington. He's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout as he swings and misses at a first pitch in the dirt, 0-1.
So Preston believes 2016 was Bobby's first year here.
We got to experience the same coaching staff that same season as well. The 0-1 outside. It's even at a ball and a strike.
I know Bobby stays in the area in the off season. Where does Max go? Arizona. I knew he was a West Coast guy. Do you know if he still went out there or not?
If I remember correctly, Bobby has ties to Indiana State, doesn't he?
Indiana State?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he played at IU, but he coached the Terre Haute Rats.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I was thinking I remembered Bobby being a hitting coach at Indiana State for a season or something like that. 1-1, grounded to the left side, fielded by Torellis, and over to first base in time for out number 3. So the damage is done. A solo shot from Nick Garland cuts the Miners closer, as it's now 3-2. As we head to the top of the 5th inning, Jeff Redmond will have the call for you, but it'll be 2-3, 4-2 up for Evansville when we come back on the Otters Digital Network.
I'll do it again.
Top of the fifth as we're back here on the Otters Digital Network. Want to make your lawn and landscape look like a field of dreams? Make sure you use Timbard's professional brand products. Pick them up at any of our 3 locations. Beautifying the communities we live in and the grass we walk and play on, all since 1940. With that, now that we move to the top of the fifth, I'll pass over to my partner, Devin Redmond, who will have the play-by-play.
3-2 Otters, top of the fifth inning. Medea Villa at 80 pitches, so this could be his last inning of work. He's trying to get through the fifth to maybe somewhat qualify for the win if the Binders can score next half inning. He'll face Baez, Davis, and Sinsley, 2, 3, and 4 for Evansville. Baez on base twice today with a pair of walks, and he scored a run way back in the first. Medea Villa winds and fires, and it's a ground ball hit left side. Shortstop Rolone has it. He throws to first, and Baez is out on one pitch. Baez said, I'm not getting walked this time. I'm going to swing at the first pitch in the zone.
To be fair, he swung at the first pitch last time, too.
It was in the dirt, yeah.
Ran through the scores when you were taking your little stroll through Bossy Field. There's only been one change, and it's the Empire State Grays. They now trail 8-2.
Ooh.
It was tied 2-2 when I did that at the top of the fourth.
I don't know if we talked about this yet or not, but they could be eliminated from the playoff contention as early as Wednesday.
Yeah, Matthew Will, who is, of course, out a little bit sick, he told me in the email the Grays have a tragic number of 8 and could be eliminated from playoff contention as soon as Wednesday night.
Pitch low to Davis, ball one.
And when you look at the standings, I think they only have 3 wins. Yeah, when you're 3-56, you're going to get eliminated pretty quickly.
Thought maybe they have a strong second half surge, but I don't think so. That's hard to believe. I know it's their first year of existence, but
well, and the other thing too is being that they're an all-travel team, that makes it a little bit harder because you never get to sleep in your own bed. You're always in a hotel or a motel room. But even then too, they've had so much roster turnover because of it.
Here's the 1-1 to J.R. Davis. A line drive down the right field line. Someone move the camera for me. Hey, there we go. Catch is made by Rijo. 2 outs.
It was on the home plate camera for quite a while.
And where the ball was hit down the right field line, I wasn't sure if it was going to twist away from Rijo or not, but he had enough room to make the catch, and so Davis lines out. He is 1 for 3. Had that 2-run single back in the third. And it's 2 up and 2 down in the top of the fifth inning for Medea Villa. So Empire State, they're 3-56. What's the next worst team? How many wins do they have?
The next worst team would be Florence and Windy City, both with 23 wins. So still a 21 gap there.
Yeah, you'd see that 23 and 35 record and think, oh, a terrible year for those teams, but it makes it look a little better when someone has just 3 wins.
Oh, absolutely. You're not going to be at the cellar of the league.
Count is 1-1 on Steven Sinsley, the Otters' first baseman, who drove in a run with 2 outs in the first with a single, and he struck out in the third. The 1-1. Cut on a miss. Tell you what, if Medea Villa can get Sinsley here, he might have a chance to go back out for the 6th. Just 7 pitches so far in this inning. The wind and the 1-2. Low and outside. Besides the E6 that allowed Rosario to reach base safely in the 4th, nobody has reached since the 2-run single by Davis in the 3rd.
Yeah, he's done a good job of settling in after a little bit of trouble in that 3rd inning. Really navigating that 2-on, nobody out situation after the Davis single.
2-2 cut on a miss. Strong 5th inning for Medea Villa as he strikes out Sinsley for the 2nd time in the game, and it's a 1-2-3 top of the 5th inning. We're halfway home in the series finale from New Jersey. 3-2 Otters on the Otters Digital Network. Home half of the fifth inning. It's 3-2 Evansville at Sussex County. Austin Gossman at 62 pitches will work the fifth here against Torellis, Reynolds, Rowland. 9-1-2 for the Miners.
Not sure if this is just something I'm noticing, Jeff, on the stream, or if it's something you just noticed, but was that a speedometer up there next to the pitch count earlier in the game?
It was not. It's new.
Well, good to know that we can now figure out what the speed is of the pitches.
That definitely was not there earlier.
Preston also confirms it was not there earlier. But apparently Gossman's final warm-up pitch was 90 miles per hour.
We'll see if it stays up there here for this at-bat. Pitch to Torellis. Swing and a miss. Took a little bit off of it. 82 miles per hour.
There we go.
Well, what a time to implement it in the fifth inning of Game 3 of the series.
We just got done with the center point, what was it, the center point midpoint of the game? I forget. I can't remember what the promotion's called.
Here's the 0-1 to Torellis. It's in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. He struck out in the third for his only at-bat against Gossman so far.
I feel like they're pulling up the screen.
Evansville got a run in the first, 2 in the third. Miners with single tallies in the third and fourth inning. They score in the third straight inning here. They at least tie or maybe even take their first lead of the game. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Gossman to Torellis, a left-handed batter. And that's on the outside corner, 1-2. If I was Torellis, I would understand the frustration because it's one of the few strikes that's been called on the outer half of the plate.
And back to your point, too, about how just in this inning, very quickly, this game could turn if Sussex County is able to get a bit of a rally going and take the lead. It does feel like Evansville's been in control of this game through the midpoint. So it's crucial for Gossman to get through this inning.
The 1-2 delivery drifts away from a Torellis, and the count is even. It is back to the top of the order after Torellis hits here.
Of course, we both know from traveling with the team in 2016, even if they lose the series, it'd be a much more enjoyable bus ride home with a win today.
Strike 3 on the outside corner, and Torellis strikes out for the second time in the game, and again he's upset with the call from our home plate umpire, and there is one away.
Got him now at 5 German-American bank strikeouts on the day for Austin Gossman. 2 of those, as you mentioned, against Alex Torellis. 1 swinging, this one looking.
This will be the third time through the lineup for Sussex County. Leadoff hitter is Mikey Reynolds. Their left fielder has walked. He's stolen a bag, and he's also singled and scored in the third. Nobody on, 1 away in the fifth as Evansville leads 3-2.
Is it safe to say that he's been a thorn in the side of the Otters?
He has had a good series. Pitch high, ball 1.
And it's amazing, too, whenever you have a player like Reynolds who just possesses the speed he does on the base pass. Just a walk or a single, and he can start to create havoc. And he's done that so far today.
Kick in the 1-0. There's a strike, thigh high, center cut. Wow, they even have 84.3 miles per hour on that delivery.
That's pretty exact. That's Preston, I think we need to step our game up here at Bossy Field. They're getting down to the 10th of the mile per hour. Somebody hits 105.3, we might have a new record.
Reynolds takes on the outer half of the plate, called strike, and it is 1-2. Miners cut the deficit in half last inning on the solo home run with 2 outs from Nick Garland.
And that ball was hit very well. I thought Rosario was going to have a chance at it. You had mentioned that he almost lost the glove over the wall, but the wall's so tall it was tough for him to get up there and get the ball.
From the stretch, the 1-2 to Reynolds. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Back-to-back punch-outs for Austin Gossman.
Back-to-back strikeouts, too, with the breaking ball as he's frozen the hitters.
Back-to-back German-American bank strikeouts.
This is true. It'd be nice to see him strike out the side.
It'll be Kevin Rowland, who tried to bunt his way on last time up, pushed it toward the first base side, and the pitcher was able to get to it and throw him out.
And they did list that as a sacrifice. So he's 0 for 1 on the day. Again, that was a bit of a weird bunt situation, but the run came in, so I guess it didn't matter. It worked out for Sussex County.
Fastball skips in the dirt on the first one to Roland.
Roland flew out his first at-bat, had that sacrifice bunt in the third. He's committed one error in the field. I think he's looking to try to find a way on board with 2 outs and extend this inning to the number 3 hitter, Silverio, who has had himself a pretty good series.
So Roland, he's committed an error in every game of the series, right?
I do believe so.
2 throwing errors and 1 fielding error. Not a streaky 1.5. Here's the 1-0. And a smash into right. Mcnamee makes the catch, coming in a couple of steps. And it's a 1-2-3 fifth inning for Austin Gossman. We're through 5. Evansville still on top of Sussex County, 3-2. This is the Otters Digital Network. Otters bat in the top of the 6th inning as they are maintaining a 1-run lead, 3-2. Buckner, the catcher, starts the top of the 6th. And Medea Villa, who stays in the game, delivers strike 1. Buckner is struck out looking. He's also bounced out to short in the game. And the 0-1 is hit into shallow right field. Oh, diving play by the second baseman, Webb Little. What a great catch by him. It was 5 or 6 feet beyond the infield dirt. He was playing up the middle, and he made a full extension catch for the first out.
Yeah, this was really an incredible play by Little. Thought that was going to be one of those kind of bloop singles that just drops right in between the right fielder and second baseman, but full extension dive there from Webb Little, and he flashes the leather for the first out of the inning.
Had such a long way to go, and he just stuck his glove out there at the very last second.
You don't see plays like that very often. That was a pretty good one there from the minor second baseman.
One out. Here's Miles Gordon.
Would love to see Gordon get on base and find a way to put an impact in this game.
He takes right down central to called strike. He's flew out twice. Once to right field, the other time to center field. The 0-1 in the dirt, and the count is even. First 2 games of the series are very tightly contested. It appears we'll have a third one today. The 0-1 is bounced to the first baseman. That is Torellis, who gloves it, letter high, and he takes it 3 unassisted for the second out.
So that's 6 straight retired batters for Villa. If you group in the error there and skip that batter, it's 11 straight outside of the error. So 11 of the last 12 batters he has retired. And the one batter to reach base wasn't even his fault.
2 outs here is Khalil. He tried to bunt his way on, leading off the 4th, but he popped it up to the catcher, and he takes ball 1 upstairs.
It was actually a great play, too, by Villa on that bunt attempt. That's that 1-0's in there for a called strike, but he kind of came off the mound, and he had a bit of an awkward dive slide thing. I don't know what you really want to call it, but he came up with the ball, so it didn't matter.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's down and inside.
It's the classic pitchers are athletes, too argument there.
Some definitely are.
And some are. Some are not quite as much of an athlete.
Swing and a miss. Good downward action on that pitch from Villa. And Khalil has a 2-2 count. Almost 100 pitches for this lefty. He's at 98 right now.
Of course, I don't know if there's any players like this in the Frontier League, but starting to see some more two-way players integrated into baseball.
Swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. Khalil chased it. Strikeout complete. 2-3 on the throw by the catcher Garland. And it's a 1-2-3 6th inning for Villa. As we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, it is Evansville 3, Sussex County 2 on the Otters Digital Network. Could be a big inning here for Austin Gospin. The heart of the minors order due up. 3, 4, and 5. Silverio, Mayberry, and Little. As Evansville enjoying a 3-2 lead at the moment in the bottom of the 6th inning with Jordan Fisher. I'm Jevin Redmond. Preston Lindenbach with us as well. You're just not hearing him, at least yet. And the first pitch at the bottom of the 6th inning to Juan Silverio is headed home. Low ball 1. Silverio with an RBI single in the 3rd. He also struck out in the 1st inning.
He's got 6 hits in the series so far between the 3 games, as he is filled in nicely in the 3-hole in this series.
Ball 2 in the dirt to Silverio.
He was signed just mere hours before first pitch. In fact, we found the lineup for Sussex County on their Twitter page, and they had a couple guys. It was Silverio and Torellis, both that were not listed on the roster that Preston had provided us earlier in the afternoon. And then I think it was about 5 minutes after first pitch, Preston got that roster and forwarded it to us with the new faces.
Minor League Baseball.
We confirmed the transactions, though, on the Frontier League website.
There's a strike to Silverio, 2-1.
It is funny how that happens, though. Just mere hours before the game, make an official transaction and immediately plug him into the 3-hole.
He's had a good series, Silverio has. And the 2-1 to him is cut on a mist. He lost his bat, and it is launched for the Evansville dugout.
There's not a whole lot of fans behind the Otters dugout, but it's a good thing there's some netting there because that bat was headed for the stands.
Max Peterson popped out and grabbed the bat, handed it to Silverio. Yeah, I mentioned Silverio, he's had a good series. You see that happen. You bring in a new guy and they get off to a hot start. Well, there's not really a scouting report out against him, so you're almost pitching to him blindly.
Yeah. I'm sure they have a little bit of information against him, but there's not a lot out there until you get to play at least a few series in the Frontier League.
It's a 2-2 count. Gospin pumps it home. Outside, didn't fish at the slider. And it's a full count.
We really saw that last year with a couple guys with the Otters in particular. Jeffrey Baez came in and he felt like he was hitting a home run every other at-bat. Of course, you can't sustain that level of hotness. And then Gary Mattis did the same thing. He came in with a bunch of extra base hits out the gate.
Here's the payoff. Swing and a miss. Gospin struck him out for the second time in the game, a German-American bank strikeout. And it's the first out of the 6th.
That is strikeout number 7 for Austin Gospin.
So the base is empty for David Mayberry, who is a dangerous hitter. He started play batting around .350, has 7 home runs, and today he has flew out twice. Once to left and once to right.
And one of those was hit pretty well to left field back in the first inning.
Swing and a miss. So chasing that breaking ball down away from Gospin.
And actually thinking back on it too, the flyout in the third inning might have been the one where Mcnamee was on the run right at the warning track. So 2 very loud outs from David Mayberry.
The 1-strike pitch is a fly ball sent out towards center field. Plenty of room for Miles Gordon. Routine catch. 2 outs.
I like to think David Mayberry is just being nice and allowing all the Otters outfielders to be involved in the game. Fly out to left, fly out to right, now fly out to center.
Guess you play him straight away, right?
That's what it seems like.
The 2 outs for Webb Little. Pair of ground outs, both to the right side. He's bounced out to first and to second. When the Otters bat in the 7th, they'll have 8-9-1 due up. Torellis, Rosario, Mcnamee. Be interested to see if Medea still's in the game. He's at 99 pitches, but he's been very effective of late. And a ground ball. The first pitch is hit to short. Khalil throws out Webb Little, and it's an easy 1-2-3 6th for Austin Gospin. Jordan Fisher will have the 7th as Evansville leads Sussex County 3-2 on the Otters Digital Network.
Top of the 7th on the Otters Digital Network. 8-9-1 due up for Evansville. Torellis, Rosario, Mcnamee. Torellis 0 for 2 so far today. Rosario 1 for 2. Mcnamee 1 for 3. They'll look to try to add to the lead as it's currently 3-2 as we move to the top of the 7th, the final third of this ball game. 3 more innings for Evansville to try to steal game number 3. Austin Gossman's done well through 6, only allowing 1 earned. 7 Ks. But the Otters have not scored since the top of the 3rd.
Well, Medea Villa is still in the game, and not that it's a big deal, but I mentioned 99 pitches, what they had on the monitor. Well, now it's 102 before he's going to pitch in the 7th, so they're letting him go long in this game.
First pitch, breaking ball. Misses just off the plate on the inside, so it's 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, be curious to see how long the leash is for Medea Villa. He's pitched well these last few innings, as the 1-0 is a called strike. We were kind of teasing it a little bit, but he had been at 11 out of 12 batters that he had retired, with the 1 batter that reached safely was an E6. The 1-1 lined on the right side and foul. Just foul. And now it looks like there's some activity stirring in the Miners' bullpen as a lefty is up and thrown. We couldn't see a number, but of course if there's a change, we'll update you on that. The 1-2 in the dirt blocked. It's now 2-2.
It could be a situation, too, where you have 8-9 due up to start the inning. Give him a chance to get through those guys. And if he retires both, okay, take your shot with Mcnamee. If not, maybe go to the bullpen.
It's also a little curious. They had a lefty warming up in the bullpen, but there isn't a lefty due up until we get to Steven Sinsley, who's the number 4-hole hitter for the Otters. The 2-2. Looks like that ball was fouled off. We'll do it again. The reason I say that, especially, now granted, Evansville hasn't done much in the last few innings against the lefty on the mound, so perhaps you're thinking we'll just stick with another lefty, but you have an opportunity with how right-hand heavy the Otters lineup is to maybe flip the script and change the way they're seeing the ball. 2-2, grounded to the left side, fielded by Silverio. Strong throw over to first across the diamond for out number 1. That brings in the switch-hitting Brian Rosario. He's 1 for 2 today. He's reached base safely both times. Well, I say that. One was a single, one was an error. Rosario's made a couple good plays out in left field, as his Otters debut has been a bit of a success as he squares around to bunt but pulls back. It's 1-0. He bunted for his first base hit back in the 3rd where he came around to score, and then hit a chopper to the shortstop Roland, who just quite frankly missed the grounder. It was such a slow grounder. Rosario bloops this one out into right center field, and that's going to get down for a base hit, so he'll be aboard for the 3rd time today. 2 hits for Rosario, and that takes us back to the top of the order with Elijah Mcnamee coming up to the dish.
First hit since the 2-run single by Davis in the 3rd inning.
That had been quite a while. Yeah, so it would be it was 13 of 14 batters with that 1 error sandwiched in there for Medea Villa before he allows another base runner, this time a blue pit to right center field. And the Otters right fielder Mcnamee digs in. He's 1 for 3 today. 110 pitches now from Medea Villa as he works from the stretch. A first pitch fastball called strike. 0-1. So far through 6 1/3 for Medea Villa. 7 Ks, 2 walks, 3 earned. He is responsible for the runner at first base.
He's on the downside of this game right now, but he has certainly pitched well enough to win, and maybe why he's been granted the 7th inning to try to get in a position to earn a win.
We have an awkward pickoff move to first, but runner back in time. Yeah, he allowed the 1 run back in the first when Baez reached on a walk and then eventually came around to score on a 2-out single by Steven Sinsley. And then he allowed 2 consecutive singles in the 3rd. Both of those runners came around to score, but he worked around a Bases loaded, no out situation. That ball in the dirt. It's now 1-1. Eventually end up with 2 runners on and nobody out at second and third base as well, after he allowed those 2 runs to score. But he got out of that traffic, no more runs, and that's how Evansville got to 3 runs. Looking for the side. Quick peek at the runner, and now he delivers. So an outside, 2-1. You do wonder how long the leash is with Jeffrey Baez standing in the on-deck circle.
I mean, I would think this might be his last batter. Now,
if Mcnamee reaches. I think if he gets Mcnamee out, then you might give him a chance to get out of the inning. But yeah, I think if Mcnamee reaches base, then you're probably looking at a pitching change. The 2-1. Fastball upstairs, 3-1. ...114 pitches. 115 coming home right now. 3-1, grounded left side, fielded by Silverio. He goes to second, around the horn to first, 5-4-3 double play. And just like that, it doesn't even matter because he gets out of the jam. We head to the 7th inning stretch. I will not be singing the 7th inning stretch a cappella like Zane Clodfelter did Friday, and I assume he did yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
But everyone get home. At home, I should say. Get up. Stand up stretch. It's stretch time on the Otters Digital Network. Otters leading it 3-2. We move to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Otters will return home for a 6-game homestand from July 26th through July 31st. They'll close out the month of July with 6 games at Bosse Field. They'll play 3 against New York and 3 against Tri-City. As we'll go through promotions momentarily, Austin Gossman on the mound as he'll face Nilo Rijo in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Rijo today, 0 for 2, a strikeout swinging and a fly out to center field as he fouls off the first pitch. On Tuesday, it'll be a Taco Tuesday. Tacos, nachos, frozen margaritas, and discounted Modelo and Corona. First pitch time 6:35 Central. Wednesday to be Astound Community 1 Love Your Neighborhood and Senior Connection Wednesday with discounted GA senior tickets. Thursday, Edward Jones Working Distributors presenting Thirsty Thursday as this one put into play, and a pop-up into right field that will drop in front of Mcnamee as he lost the ball in the sun. So a bloop single for Rijo. And that's how we start the bottom half of the 7th inning as Nick Garland will step in. Quickly wrapping up the homestand. It'll be Friday, Harris Real Estate, Gil Hodges night, Randy's Americana Cafe as well, a little mini best giveaway. Saturday, Old National Bank and the Santa Claus Club with Christmas in July. And then Dog Days of Summer, bring your dog and get discounted hot dogs on Sunday. All those games except for Sunday's game are a 6:35 Evansville time start. 5:05 on Sunday. So Nick Garland digs in. He had a solo shot back in the fourth, as he is the most recent run scored for Sussex County. And the first pitch to him is a grounder to the left side. Khalil flips it over to Davis to first base. 6-4-3 double play. And quickly 2 away after the unfortunate bloop single. But Gossman works around it, and now that brings up the number 8 hitter, Justin Washington. Washington 0 for 2 today, a strikeout swinging, and a ground out to the third baseman. It's a 3-2 lead for Evansville, as Gossman's still working with the lead. He is at 86 pitches. As if he gets through this one quickly, he could be in line to potentially pitch the 8th. First pitch to Justin Washington. A called strike, 0-1. And Preston's noting this as Jevin's about to rejoin me, but on the Flow Sports stream, they keep throwing up a K-zone.
Yeah.
Something that they once again added in the middle of the game. This one gets high and away as a ball and a strike. But yeah, they are doing some on-the-fly experimentation here in the month of July, as we've been, about 60 games into the season?
Maybe they thought the strike zone was small too, so they're going to put up a K zone.
Yeah.
So
In
I
fact,
heard you
think
say
this is-
Riho single, then was it a double play?
It was a double play.
Five.
Yeah, so this is indeed game number 60. It was 6-4-3 on the DP. The 1-1, as Washington fouls this one off. It's now 1-2.
Say 6-4-3?
Yes, 6-4-3. It went Khalil, Davis, and then Sinsley.
Well, I think the catcher for Evansville, Buckner, got caught with a backswing from Washington, so the home plate
Yeah, I couldn't
umpire
tell exactly what happened there.
buying him some time by walking out to the pitcher.
Catchers are tough, man. They deal with a lot. Not only do you have to catch in all that gear in 90-degree weather, but you can get hit by a baseball bat at any given time. But Devin Buckner appears to be all right. Had a quick chat with the trainer, but all good. It's a 1-2 count. Pitch number 90 about to come home. Going to be interesting to see if Gossman gets this out here relatively quickly if he pitches the 8th. He's got his sign and the delivery. 1-2, just off the outside part of the plate. That's a strong take from Justin Washington. But again, we've been talking about the strike zone. The outside part of the plate has not been kind to pitchers. That moves it to a 2-2 count with 2 away. Once again, Gossman with his sign, the delivery. Swung on a miss, the German-American Bank strikeout to end the inning. As that sends us to the top half of the 8th. Gossman sits down the side in order despite giving up a base hit. He goes 1-2-3 in the bottom half of the 7th. When we come back in the top of the 8th, Baez, Davis, Sinsley do up for the Otters. They lead it 3-2 on the Otters Digital Network. We move to the top of the 8th inning, and we have a call to the bullpen. This call to the bullpen presented by Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. The new pitcher on the mound for the Sussex County Miners, wearing number 9, a left-handed relief pitcher, Alex Dimchak, as he is making appearance number 4 on the season. He's got a 1-0 record, a 2.45 ERA. In 3 2/3 innings pitched, he's allowed 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 of those being earned, 5 strikeouts to 2 walks, and then also closes the book on the starter, Michael Mediavilla, who Jevin had down for 7 innings, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned.
Hey, pitched well enough to get the win, but he will not get the win today.
First pitch to Jeffrey Baez, outside for a ball. Also, that new pitcher-catcher battery for Sussex County, Dimchak on the mound, Garland behind the plate. Pitcher-catcher battery brought to you by the Answer Auto Repair East, as the 1-0 is a called strike. It's 1-1. Answer Auto Repair East. Find your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or call 812-475-9000. I guess tell them that Zane Clodfelter sent you. That's what he always says in the PA, and he said it Friday night every pitching change. I'm sure that he said it every pitching change for you yesterday.
Yeah.
I wonder if Zane gets commission from that.
Oh, I'm sure he's found a way to work it into his contract.
Even if it's just like a penny every time. That's still a penny he didn't have. 2-1 misses outside. It's now 3-1. So it's Baez, Davis, and Sinsley due up. Two, three, 4 hitters for Evansville. They're trying to add on some insurance runs here late in this ball game. Ball 4 gets away from the catcher, and Baez is going to take his time going down to first base. So he walks for the 2nd time today. He's now reached. Oh, excuse me. He's walked for the 3rd time today. So he's officially 0 for 1 today.
This reliever, Dimchak, that just came in the game, I saw him kicking around at the mound. I think he was having some difficulty with his landing spot.
We saw that yesterday, too, with a couple of the pitchers. Now that brings in J.R. Davis. I guess we'll see if skipper Andy McCauley and company elect to play a little bit small ball and try to move Baez into scoring position, as Davis does square around, but pulls back for a ball.
Yeah, I'm stating the obvious, but an extra run here in the 8th or 9th inning would go a long way.
Oh, absolutely. Of course, there could always be an opportunity for Baez just to straight up steal second base without having J.R. Davis sacrifice him over, but it looks like they're going to try to bunt him over. As this next pitch misses low and in. Ball 2.
Right.
You might not have to bunt him over. He might walk you.
Say right now, you make Dimchak throw you a strike. He's been all over the place.
Yeah, since entering the game, that's now 6 balls to just 1 strike. Throwing in the upper 80s. As Davis once again squaring around with the 2-0 count and the delivery. This one right down Broadway. It's now 2-1.
You know, I'm glad that we don't have to make the bus trip back the Otters are about to make after this game.
Yeah, that'd be
a long night.
Decent little drive from Augusta, New Jersey. Swinging away is Davis as he fouls it off down the right field line. It's 2-2. If I had to guess on the drive to New Jersey, I would guess somewhere in the neighborhood of about 11 hours.
So I put in Skyland Stadium from our location, which is Bossy Field. 12 hours and 51 minutes.
So I still undershot it.
822 miles.
Well, at least you're gaining an hour on the way back.
Yeah.
Trying to find a bright side.
Unfortunately, they don't have Steve, the bus driver.
2-2 lined into left field. That's going to drop down in front of the left fielder Reynolds, as there'll be runners on first and second base with nobody out. And as Preston noted to us, they don't have their usual bus driver, who apparently makes the road trips home a little bit quicker than normal.
Yeah, I There's two different paths you can go. One's 12 hours, 40 minutes. The other one's 12 hours and 51 minutes.
Which one's more fuel efficient, though? I'm just kidding.
Well, the one that's 12 hours, 51 minutes has a toll, I guess. The other one doesn't have a toll. But I'm just trying to see
Well,
what...
I would automatically take the one with no tolls.
I'm trying to see what towns they go through, if there's anything interesting.
That brings up Steven Sinsley. 2 on, nobody away. Sinsley 1 for 3 today, an RBI single in the first, and then back-to-back swinging strikeouts. As he looks to be swinging away here, swings through a pitch up in the zone. It's 0-1. This is a big opportunity for Evansville with 2 runners on and nobody away. You want to try to get those runners over to second and third however you can, and then bring them in. Sinsley looks to be swinging away, so the ball to the gap could spell some trouble for the Miners, as the 0-1 is a called strike. It's now 0-2. And then also we saw a brief glimpse into the Otters bullpen.
Yeah, so you think about it, they'll get back, and we'll just be waking up for our Monday morning.
Mm-hmm. They have an off day, though. So
Probably half it'll be used by sleeping.
Oh, yeah. They'll get to spend the day off on Monday before they start that 6-game homestand. The 0-2 to Sinsley. This ball hit well out to right field. And losing in the sunlight, but he still caught it, is the right fielder Rijo. It's amazing that he caught that. Baez advancing to third on the fly ball. So that puts runners on the corners with 1 out. That is the 3rd time we've seen an outfielder struggle with the ball, with the sunlight. Mcnamee had one earlier that he couldn't find, but he did catch it. Then he had the one that dropped in front of him for a base hit that ended up going for nothing because of the double play. This one, Rio really fighting the sun, but he's able to haul it in at the very last second.
Pitching change.
So we indeed do have a pitching change. Runners in the corners, 1 out. We'll tell you about who the new pitcher is. Devin Buckner is the batter due up for Evansville. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back here on the Otters Digital Network. We got a new pitcher on the mound here in the top half of the 8th inning. It's right-handed pitcher Dwayne Marshall, making appearance number 13 on the year, but his first appearance out of the bullpen. So he's got 12 games started in his first 12 appearances, 6-3 record. He has thrown 1 complete game, although that's not irrelevant here. That's irrelevant here. 73 2/3 innings pitched. He's got a 2.20 ERA, allowing 18 runs that are earned. 63 Ks to 27 walks. The man that just exited, Alex Dimchak, is responsible for both runners in the corners with 1 away here. As Devin Buckner, the Otters kept... No, excuse me, this is Zach Bierman that's pinch hitting. So a A little bit of gamesmanship here is Zach Bierman is now into pinch hit. He fouls off the first pitch. Now, Zach Bierman, of course, is not a catcher. So, assume this is just a one-and-done pinch hit. I guess they could, in theory, double switch or something. Move him to, like, first base and then take Sinsley out. But Justin Felix will for sure come in to catch. 0-1 is low and in. It's now 1-1.
Probably just a pinch hit with it being late
I
in the
would
game.
think just
Pinch
a
hit.
straight
And then,
pinch
yep.
hit because this looked like it was supposed to be an off day for Zach Bierman. But, hey, you put one of your best hitters at the plate with runners in the corners and that one-run game in the 8th. I would do that 10 times out of 10.
Bierman last night was 1 for 5, a single and 2 strikeouts.
Marshall with his sign and the 1-1. Outside. Ball 2. Want to also note that this pitching change, call to the bullpen, presented by Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. And the new battery, Marshall on the mound, Garland behind home plate. Pitcher Catcher Battery, sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Or call 812-475-9000. Tell them Zane Clodfelder sent you. The 2-1 to Bierman fouled off to the right side. It's now even at 2-2.
Wonder how much better the promotion would work if you didn't say, tell him Zane Clodfelter sent you.
Right.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding, Zane, if
you
you're
know what?
listening.
Next time, the next pitching change, I might just leave that part out. We'll see if they actually
All
go.
of a sudden, sales skyrocket.
Yeah.
If Zane's listening, our phones will buzz here pretty shortly.
This is true. I'm surprised if he was listening. I'm surprised he didn't buzz when we talked about the 40 days till Hoosier football. Marshall has his sign, the 2-2, fastball low. It's now full. 95.8 on the radar gun. Gotta wonder here if Jared Davis will be on the move. 3-2 count, one away. Trying to avoid a potential double play,
I would.
but you also don't want to run into the end of the inning. Pause and the delivery. As this one's fouled off, we'll do it again.
He was running, judging by the shortstop's mannerisms. Hey, random question, because it just popped in my head. You mentioned Kumar Rocker, I think, earlier. How did he do in the Frontier League this year? What was his ERA?
I'd have to look at his stats, but he must have done well enough because he got drafted 3rd overall.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably given he's going to get drafted. I was just curious if he absolutely dominated as expected, or...
Let me see if we can find that out. As we await the 3-2 count. A long pause from Marshall. And finally delivers. Breaking ball low, ball 4. That'll load the bases. So Kumar Rocker this year for Tri-City started 5 games. Went 1-0. Had a 1.35 ERA. In 20 innings pitched, he allowed 11 hits, 4 runs, 3 of those being earned, 2 of those being home runs. And he struck out 32 batters to 4 walks. So
And
I would say pretty good.
Yeah, Tri-City's here this weekend, so just missed out on seeing him pitch.
Yep. But now he gets to join his old college teammate Jack Leiter in the Rangers organization. Also, it was pretty cool, the first 2 picks in that draft. I think it was last Thursday, if I remember correctly. Went Matt Holliday's son. His first name escapes me. Jackson. And then it was Drew Jones, which is Andrew Jones' son. It was the first time ever in the MLB draft that sons of former MLB players went 1 and 2. So now in steps Miles Gordon with the bases loaded and 1 away. As that pitch misses inside, 4-1.
Also reaching that age where it makes you feel old. And you're used to watching Matt Holliday play for the Cardinals, and now his son is being drafted number 1.
I don't know if you follow him or not, but the official photographer of the St. Louis Cardinals, I follow him on Instagram. And whenever Jackson got drafted, he was posting a bunch of photos of Matt Holliday and Jackson in St. Louis when Jackson was a kid. 1-0 fouled off. It's now 1-1. It was kind of cool because in order to follow his Instagram, you have to request to follow him. He has a private account. So I was like, I wonder if I'll get approved. And then sure enough, I did. It's always a good look into the Cardinals. One ball, one strike to Miles Gordon. Bases are loaded with one away here in the 8th. A chance to blow this game open. And the delivery from Marshall, ground to the right side. And it's past the diving first baseman. It scoots into shallow right center field, as that'll allow 2 runs to score. Bierman advances to third. Tough luck bounce there for the Miners, but it's now 5-2 with runners on the corners and only one away.
That was weird because I thought for a second maybe it hit the runner. The second baseman, Little, was going after it. Glanced off the diving glove of the first baseman, Torellis, and then Little, the second baseman, didn't even go after the ball. He waited for the right fielder to come in. Not that it really mattered, but it threw me off for a second. I thought maybe it hit the runner.
Well, I thought the same thing because I was trying to process where the ball was exactly. But 2 runs coming to score as Baez and Davis reach home safely. That brings up George Khalil with runners in the corners and one away. 5-2 ball game as Evansville adds 2 insurance runs here in the top of the 8th. First pitch from Marshall on the outside half. And that's a called strike. That also officially closes the book on the starting pitcher, or excuse me, the relief pitcher for Sussex County, as Dimchek officially goes 1/3 of an inning. He allows 1 hit, 2 runs, both of them earned, 1 walk, and just 3 batters faced. So his ERA is going to go quite high. I'm not sure if this is a running total or just the ERA from today, but it says 54 in the box score.
I bet it's today.
I would think it's today. 0-1 to Khalil, misses low. It's now a ball and a strike.
Uh-oh. Screen's buffering.
Judging by the live stats, it's a 2-1 count to Khalil, so the 1-1 must have missed for a ball.
Oh, Preston, fix it.
And now the 2-1 misses, so it's 3 balls and a strike.
Where are the pitches missing at, Jordan?
That does not tell me, unfortunately. I'm just going to say outside for all of them. So it's 3 balls and a strike, runners in the corners, 1 away for George Khalil. Be curious to see if he takes here or not. Marshall's had some issues with command coming out of the bullpen. Pause in delivery, and that is... Oh, we must be catching up still.
Now it's 3-1 on the screen we're watching.
Okay. So that did miss outside, though. I was right about one of the pitches in the
Not
outside.
sure if we were pitched behind because the count had 2-1, but also the count's been inaccurate at times.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Such is the life of a remote broadcast.
Chance for Khalil to do some damage here, though. Looking for a go pitch, as John Rooney would say.
The 3-1 runner goes, swung on and missed. Throw down to second base is high, and they call him out. Miles Gordon caught stealing. So it's going to be a full count now with 2 away. And that was 2-4 on the putout. A great tag there from Webb Little.
Mm-hmm.
Close play at second base, but Gordon gunned down at second. Now it's just a runner on third base, a full count with 2 away.
Yeah, the throw was there in plenty of time, but it was high and quick snap tag.
Now the delivery of the 3-2 misses low and away, ball 4. So runners on the corners with 2 outs, and you do wonder if they don't run Miles Gordon there. You could be looking at another bases loaded situation. Of course, because you get the caught stealing, perhaps there was a different approach there for Marshall just to try to paint a fastball. As another lefty warming up in the bullpen for Sussex County. Regardless, in brings the Otters third baseman, Anthony Torellis. 0 for 3 today. A pop out, a strikeout swinging, and a ground out. As he comes up with runners in the corners and 2 out. First pitch called strike. 0-1. In the bottom half of the 8th inning, the Miners will have 9-1-2 due up as they now trail it by at least 3 runs, depending on what happens here in this at-bat. It's 5-2 in favor of Evansville. The delivery from Marshall. 0-1 lined up the middle on a breaking ball. That will score Zach Bierman from third base. That allows Khalil to reach second. Runners on first and second now with 2 away. So 3 runs in the inning for Evansville, and they extend their lead to 6-2. So we talked about insurance runs. Also, if nothing else changes with the score, unless Sawyer pitches the 8th and the 9th, this is not a safe situation for Mr. Sawyer. In steps number 9, hitter and left fielder Brian Rosario. As he comes up with 2 on and 2 away. First pitch, a called strike on a fastball, 0-1. Also, just a reminder that Frontier League Baseball, even though this isn't a Flow Sports broadcast, presented by Working Distributors of Evansville, Old National Bank, Bud Light and Budweiser. Grounded to the shortstop, jump throw from the hole, not in time, so an infield single for Rosario. He reaches base for the 4th time today. 3 singles, and now the bases are loaded for Elijah Mcnamee. A tremendous effort there from the shortstop, Roland, but couldn't quite get the jump throw over to first base in time. And now the man they call Big Hit Mac steps up to the plate with bases juiced and 2 away. Of course, Jevin, you've been following baseball long enough to know this. You really want to get that 1 extra run here to make it a 5-run game.
To get out of slam range.
Exactly. The first pitch fastball outside for ball 1. This is also the 9th batter that Evansville has sent to the plate. Jeffrey Baez led off the inning with a walk where he eventually came around to score. The 1-0 to Mcnamee.
Ooh, good swing.
Foul to the right. It was a good swing. Evens it at a ball and a strike. Can refresh the Frontier League scoreboard, get you some more updates. Ottawa defeats Lake Erie 10-2 in 8 innings. The game must have been rained out. Troy Riviera defeats Washington 4-2, so the Wild Things 4-game winning streak is done, making this game all the more important as the 1-1 is fouled off for Elijah Mcnamee. Windy City and New Jersey have yet to start their game, although I could have swore it said top of the first earlier when I look back at the 4th, but they still show top of the 1st. Empire State trailing Joliet 14-2 in the bottom of the 7th. Florence leading New York 3-0 at New York in the top of the 2nd. As this one grounded to the left side, and another error for the Miners shortstop Roland, as that's going to allow another run to score.
Oh, he's had a terrible series at short. That's his 4th error.
He really has had a rough time over there at the shortstop spot, but an E6 will allow Mcnamee to reach base. And that's going to be it for Dwayne Marshall. So we have yet another pitching change here in this inning, as Marshall only records 1 out. We'll have a 3rd pitcher in this top of the 8th when we come back on the Otters Digital Network. We have another call to the bullpen here in the 8th inning. That's called the bullpen presented by Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. The new pitcher into the game, left-handed relief pitcher Cody Witten, making appearance number 7 on the season. He's got 2 starts. This is his 5th relief appearance. 0-1 on the year, 13 2/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 12 hits, 7 runs, 6 of those being earned. He struck out 11 while walking 7. It amounts to a 3.95 ERA. The new pitcher-catcher battery, Witten on the mound, Garland behind the plate. This pitcher-catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Or call 812-475-9000. Tell them Jevin Redmond sent you.
Oh, boy. Don't do that.
Don't do that. So this inning continues to drag on. Bases loaded, 2 away. The Otters now have a 7-2 lead. So they are out of slam range. And here comes a man who possesses a lot of power in his bat. I know he for sure has 1 grand slam this season. And that would be Mr. Jeffrey Baez facing the left-handed pitcher Cody Witten.
I'm calling it. You're about to get number 2.
Okay. I called it earlier this year when I was doing directing of the Flow Sports broadcast. So we'll see if the combined between of us can go 2 for 2.
Left center field to make it 11-2.
Do you want to try to go one step further and predict the count?
Yeah, just
No,
a bet.
just the at-bat. It is currently an 0-1 count to Mr. Baez, the DH. That one misses upstairs. Ball and a strike. I wonder if that is in Matthew Will's game notes. I got to click through my million tabs that I have. As Witten has the sign, the 1-1. Fouled off. It's now 1-2.
That was the pitch that he could have hit for a grand slam, Jordan, and he missed it.
So Jeffrey Baez has hit 2 grand slams this year. He had one on May 18th versus Empire State, which is the one I called. It was his first homer of the year. And then he had one on July 5th versus Schaumburg, which I think that game was also here at Evansville. Be a pretty good time to get your 3rd grand slam. He's got the sign, the 1-2, coming home. And no grand slam there as he swings and misses. But the Otters do their damage. They score 4 in the inning. And they extend their lead to 7-2 as we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. 9-1-2 due up from the Miners when we come back on the Otters Digital Network. We move to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Austin Gossman now with a 7-2 lead. He's back out there, 91 pitches. For landscape design that is truly unique, look to locally owned Wild Horticulture. Whether you need a team to design and construct a large-scale landscape project for your business or are looking to create an epic backyard retreat complete with plants, water, and light installation, the experienced team at Wild can take your ideas to the next level. You've likely seen their creative work all over town. Wild Horticulture has the skills and resources to deliver inspiring spaces and bring your ideas to life. Have a project in mind? Find us on Instagram and at wildspaces.com. Spaces.com. That's WILDE Spaces.com. 9-1-2 due up for the Miners as Austin Gossman enters his 8th inning of work. First pitch strike to Alex Torel gets this bottom half of the 8th underway. Torel today 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. One swinging and one looking for the Miners first baseman. And the next pitch outside for ball 1. Also, substitution for Evansville. Justin Felix in to catch for Zach Bierman officially, as he did pinch hit for Devin Buckner. So that's the new Answer Auto Repair East pitcher-catcher battery. So Felix behind the plate and Gossman on the mound.
Talked about it some last night with Zane in terms of promoting the next homestand, but there's been some really good crowds at Bosse Field I've seen this year.
Yes, there has. I'm not sure exactly what the average is. Preston might know that off the top of his head, but it feels like they've had a very healthy crowd every night, even on Sundays whenever it's a little bit harder to get some people to the ballpark. I feel like if I had to guess their average attendance, it's probably around like 3,200. Not quite that high is what Preston Lonniebach says. This one flown into left field with a drop in front of Rosario as that one just kind of falls into no man's land. A leadoff base hit for Alex Torel as he bloops one into left field down the foul line, and they get the leadoff man on, and they go back to the top of the order for Mikey Reynolds.
Average over 2,500. Total attendance up to this point over 84,000.
So an average of over 2,500 and 84,000 for the whole year. And that's not too bad with how many games they have left to go.
Mm-hmm.
First pitch to Mikey Reynolds, low and away for ball 1. Augie Gallardo was in the bullpen, appeared to be ready if called upon. Gossman trying to work around the leadoff single and stay in this ball game as he gets a sword swing there from the Miners left fielder Mikey Reynolds. It evens it up at a ball and a strike. Game 3 of the road trip at Sussex County. The Miners took games 1 and 2. As Evansville trying to get one on the road before their 6-game homestand. The 1-1 fouled back. It's now 1-2. Lost in a walk-off single on Friday with the bases loaded in the 9th. And then lost yesterday by a score of 5-3. And well, they had some fireworks in the 9th inning.
Mm-hmm.
The delivery fouled off as it stays at 1-2. Of course, we've teased it earlier, but Otters return home for a 6-game homestand starting on Tuesday, 3 against New York and then 3 against Tri-City.
I can't believe it's already the end of July.
And then they'll hit the road one more time for Lake Erie.
Be talking about football season here pretty soon. I mean, some already are.
Zane Clodfelter's probably already talking about football season. He really has been since the end of the last season.
But in terms of NFL and training camps, a lot of teams kick off this week.
Yeah, there were some teams that I think first got to camp on like the 18th or 19th. But more and more teams will start to fill in. And then, of course, one series I always enjoy watching during the summer is Hard Knocks.
Oh, yeah. Who's this year?
That would be the Detroit Lions. And I believe the first episode of that on HBO is August 9th. And then they'll do the in-season one again this year, following the Arizona Cardinals, just like they did the Colts last season. This one grounded to the left side, and that's past Khalil through the hole. Back-to-back base hits, puts runners at first and second base with nobody away.
Oh, tough luck for Gossman. A couple of Well, that one wasn't a bloop single. The
Excuse
first
me,
one was a
it's-
bloop single. That one was not hard hit. All of
Yeah.
a sudden, he's facing a first and second situation and nobody out.
And it doesn't appear there's going to be any sort of conversation. Max Peterson is staying at the top of the dugout, but he's staying in the dugout as Kevin Rowland, the shortstop for the Miners, comes up. He has 2 errors today. A chance to make up for some of those errors if he can put one into the gap.
I think it's one of those, if those singles both were hard hit, maybe you think about taking them out. But he's still making good pitches, and he hasn't been laboring of late, so I think he's earned the right to stay out there.
Looks like they're going to have a quick chat about signs. So again, the Otters will face New York on Tuesday at 6:35 from Bossy Field. You can follow the action by watching Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports. You can also follow along at frontierleague.com or by following the Evansville Otters on Twitter and Facebook. For tickets to the next Evansville Otters home game at Bossy Field, call 812-435-8686. Order online at evansvilleotters.com or stop by the Bossy Field box office.
Should be much nicer weather this week as well. It's cooler temperatures at least. Chance of rain, but
Preston
will be
saying
cooler.
ask for Ethan as well.
Who's Ethan?
Apparently somebody in the box office. First pitch to Roland is a called strike 0-1. I've been working here all season. I don't know the interns quite like Preston does because I just basically stay in the press box.
What's his last name?
So ask for Ethan if you're going to call the box office. Call the office. As Jevin said, should be some pretty good temperatures this week. 0-1. Swung on a miss. It's now 0-2. It is hard to believe, though, that we are already getting to the end of the month of July. And that just means that I am that much closer to turning 30. I'm really looking forward to it.
Is that the age where you start to feel old? Is
I'm
actually 30?
officially over halfway between my 29 and 30. 29 and 30th birthday. 0-2 swung on a missed as another German-American Bank strikeout for Austin Gossman, the first out here in the bottom of the 8th. And that brings up the 3-hole hitter and third baseman Juan Silverio.
It is weird to think of you as a 30-year-old. I mean, I've known
It
you
is.
since college,
I
and
know.
I mean, I'm 28, so I'll be there fairly soon.
It doesn't really hit you till it hits you, though. That's the thing. Someone said it to me the other day about how it was already July, and I'm like, man, that means I'm 6 months away from my 30th birthday, which is just wild. Preston's over there cheesing.
How old are you, Preston?
He's like 26,
Just turned
27.
27.
That's right. He celebrated his birthday earlier this month. Same day for him and Matthew Will. First pitch to Severio misses low and away for ball 1. That was, forgive me, I think it was July 5th? 6th? That was close.
How old Zane? Is he 32?
I think so. 31 or 32. Yeah, that would make
32.
sense. 32. The 1-0 outside for ball 2. Clearly, I don't think Zane is listening to us.
No.
Two ball, no strike count to Juan Silverio with Austin Gossman trying to power through this 8th inning. He gets a called strike there to make it 2-1. That was pitch number 107 based on our screen graphic.
We did get a text, not from Zane. Corey Clayton says, you guys are young. He's 46, so he's listening.
Corey Clayton, of course, does a lot of board hopping in the area, does a great job of keeping up with high school sports, really local sports in general. The 2-1 from Gossman. Outside, it's now 3 balls and a strike.
You know, one more guy to reach base and things start to get somewhat interesting.
But you are out of slam territory. That was the important thing. But I do agree, this could be Gossman's last batter. As we have staff members in the background of the center field camera waving their arms like they're windmills.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps trying to distract Gossman. The 3-1.
Oh,
Big, hearty hack, but he missed. 3-2. If Silverio would have made contact on that, I'm not sure it would have stayed in the stadium, but I think it would have went foul. I think it would have been a foul home run.
I just like how you have all the interns and there's one fan sitting in the stand behind him.
Mm-hmm. He's just like, what are you guys doing? Yeah. Full count, 2 on, 1 away. As Alex Torellis at second base, Mikey Reynolds at first. The payoff. This one runs inside, ball 4, and now we'll see if that indeed is the end of the day for Austin Gossman as he walks a batter to load the bases with 1 away. And it looks like we are going to have a mound visit. We assume a pitching change, but Gossman not happy with his supposedly or allegedly final pitch here. And that is a change. So Gossman walks his final batter. He'll exit with the bases loaded and 1 away. The Miners cleanup hitter, DH, coming up to bat. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. Otters lead at 7-2 here in the bottom of the 8th on the Otters Digital Network. Still in the bottom of the 8th inning, bases loaded, 1 out as we have a call to the bullpen. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. The new pitcher on the mound for the Evansville Otters, right-handed relief pitcher Augie Gallardo. Gallardo on the season, making appearance number 15. He's got a 3.94 ERA in 16 innings pitched. He's allowed 13 hits, 8 runs, 7 of those being earned. He does have 21 strikeouts to just 4 walks, but he comes in to face the designated hitter and cleanup hitter for Sussex County, David Mayberry. Mayberry has 3 loud outs today, 1 to left field, the next one to right field, and his final out that he had in his last at-bat, deep to center field. Gallardo has his sign and delivers home. The first pitch is just off the plate, ball 1. The new pitcher-catcher battery as well is Gallardo on the mound, Justin Felix behind the plate. This pitcher-catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or call 812-475-9000. The 1-0 popped up into shallow center field. Gordon charging in. As he does field it, he fires it into the infield where there's a play at the plate, and they got him.
Why would you run?
So Gordon nailing the runner from third base coming home. That was Alex Torel, the Miners' first baseman. And just like that, a double play on the second pitch, a fly out to Gordon, and then Gordon with the outfield assist, 8-2, ends the Miners' threat. And we head to the top of the 9th with the Otters holding a 7-2 lead. Devin Redmond will tell you all about it when we come back on the Otters Digital Network.
Top of the ninth inning, the Otters still lead 7-2 here at Sussex County. Evansville trying to avoid the three-game sweep. They're in good position, as it'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters up for Evansville in the ninth inning. Davis, Sinsley, and then the catcher spot, which will be Felix. Cody Witten, left-hander, stays in the game. He got the final out of the eighth inning, and the first one to Davis misses ball one. Witten got the final out of the eighth by striking out Baez. Evansville scored 4 runs in the eighth on 4 hits. There was 1 error, and they left the bases loaded. Here's the 1-0 to J.R. Davis, who has 2 hits in the game, and he takes a big swing and a miss, and he falls down to the ground, strike one. That was a wicked swing.
Still down. Now he's up on his feet, but yeah, that was quite a hack.
Let's go back to the last half inning with that double play going 8-2. Miles Gordon throwing out the runner at home plate. It was an interesting choice to run in that situation because you're down 5. It's the 8th inning, and the ball was in short right center field. Now, it wasn't a great throw from Gordon in terms of it was offline, but the guy was still out by plenty. So even on a good throw, he would have been out by 15 feet. They still get the out, but it was just a curious choice to run considering you're down 5 runs.
Especially when Torellis doesn't have the greatest speed.
But Evansville will take it, certainly. As the count is 2-1 on J.R. Davis. 2 for 4 in the game. He singled and scored his last time up, a part of that 4-run 8th inning for Evansville. And the Otters sent 10 men to the plate last frame. 2 balls and 2 strikes as Evansville, with the win, would move back to 10 games over 500 at 35-25. From the belt, the 2-2. That's inside, and ho-hum, another full count. It'll be a 3-2 for Davis. He walked him. Fastball inside. And so the leadoff man is on to start the top of the 9th for Evansville. Now it's Steven Sinsley. Drove in the first run of the game with a 2-out single in the first. Since then, he's struck out twice and he's flew out to right. So in total, 1 for 4.
It's been a good day at the plate for the Otters in general, though. They finally started to drive in some runs where they had opportunities. Got a little help from the Miners, too, defensively with a few errors, but overall, I feel like every single Otter today that's gone to the plate has put together a good at-bat.
7 runs, 9 hits. You mentioned a couple of errors. And Evansville, they have left 7 on, so not too bad today.
Much better than 13 and 11 from the previous 2 games.
And 3 of those came last inning when they had already scored 4 runs. There's a swing and a miss by Sinsley, 1-1.
They left the bases loaded, and that's going to happen sometimes. I mean, overall today, though, I feel like the Otters have done a good job of hitting with runners in scoring position and driving in the runs when they needed to.
The 1-1. Ground ball. Hit to the right side, and it's a base hit between the first and second baseman. So a single for Sinsley, and trotting first to third is J.R. Davis. There's nobody out.
Of course, you're never against adding on to the insurance runs, too, especially with how hairy the last situation just got for the Otters. They were able to get out of the bases loaded jam, but adding to the run total is never going to hurt.
So Felix will bat for the first time. Buckner got the start in the 5-hole, and then Bierman pinch hit for him last inning. And Witten's first pitch to Felix. Strike on the outside corner. That was a 90-mile-per-hour fastball. Majority of the fans at the ballpark have moved toward the shade down the right field line.
Definitely don't blame them.
Another called strike to Felix, and he's behind the 8 ball now, 0-2.
I'm sure as the day has gone on, it has gotten progressively hotter in New Jersey. I think you said it was 91 degrees at first pitch.
And we are right at the 3-hour mark. Started play at 1:06 Central Time. We're now at 4:06. The 2-strike delivery. Swing and a miss, blew it right by him at 90 miles per hour. So 3 pitches and Felix strikes out. There's 1 away and still first and third.
Just a quick scoreboard update. Nothing crazy pertaining to the Otters, but Joliet now leading 16-2 in the top of the 9th as they're well on their way to defeating Empire State. But a couple games about to get underway. One in particular that Evansville is, or should be at least looking at, Schaumburg at Quebec, and then Gateway at Tri-City, also about to begin.
So with runners at the corners and 1 out, Miles Gordon at the dish. 1 for 4, he had a 2-run single in the 8th. Takes ball 1, and now timeout's called. Witten pitches. Whoa, way high, almost to the backstop. Good stop by Garland on that hard delivery. And Gordon in the driver's seat here, 2-0. Kick and the pitch. There's a smash deep down the right field line. This could be trouble, and it is a fair ball. It rolls toward the corner. Well, I think it's a fair ball. It looked like it on the screen.
I thought it looked like a fair ball as well, but judging by Rio's reaction, it's foul.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it is a foul ball.
Look at it.
Yeah, it was foul.
Just barely foul. About a baseball width. It was very close.
From the first angle in live action, I thought it was like inside the line.
No, I think it bounced just outside of it. Like I said, by about a baseball width.
Yeah, just foul. They slowed it down on the video, kind of a frame by frame.
It was a good swing by Miles Gordon, though.
So instead, it's a 2-1 count on Gordon. Still in a good spot. And he swings and hits it out into right field. Moving back a few steps is Rio. He makes the catch plenty deep enough to score Davis from third. And the Otters get a 9th-inning run thanks to a sacrifice fly from Miles Gordon. 8-2 Evansville, and also a 3 RBI game for Gordon.
Again, always good to add insurance, especially when you're on a 4-game losing streak like this. Trying to just buck that trend, close out games strong, and a good at-bat there from Miles Gordon. He really got a hold of that last pitch and made it an easy sacrifice fly to make it a 6-run game.
And so now there are 2 outs. Khalil, the batter, he's looking for his first hit of the game. And he attacks the first pitch and whacks it foul straight back behind home plate. Khalil has struck out, popped up a bunt, struck out again, then he walked and scored in the 8th. Otters with a run in the first, 2 in the third, 4 in the 8th, and 1 more here in the 9th as they lead 8-2. The 1-strike offering. High. 1 ball, 1 strike. The runner at first base is Sinsley. And a fly ball down the right field line. Moving in toward the line is Rijo. Loses his hat, but he makes the catch, and the inning is over. Otters get a walk, a single, then a sacrifice fly from Miles Gordon. And as we go to the last half of the 9th inning, Evansville with a comfortable 8-2 lead at Sussex County on the Otters Digital Network. Last chance for Sussex County as we go to the bottom of the ninth inning with Jordan Fisher. I'm Devin Redmond. 8-2 Otters with a 6-run lead. Obviously not a safe situation. However, Logan Sawyer, who needs some work, will pitch the ninth.
And Mr. Sawyer was called to the bullpen, presented by Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Sawyer making his 19th appearance on the year. He has 15 saves in 17 and a third innings. He's allowed 8 hits, only one run, 0 earned, 26 strikeouts to just 1 walk. So he has a 0.00 ERA.
He will get the 5, 6, and 7 hitters, Little, Rijo, and Garland. Miners scored their 2 runs with a single tally in the 3rd and 4th inning. First pitch of the ninth is on the outside corner, called strike, 95 miles per hour from Sawyer. Now, remember, this game was a 3-2 Evansville lead going into the 8th inning, but they have broken it open with a 4-run 8th and a tally in the 9th. Webb Little 0 for 3 with 3 groundouts. The pitch. That is right there on the outer black, another fastball at 95.
Sawyer pumps heat for sure, and that's why he's had such a good time this year as far as pitching towards other Frontier League hitters and why teams have such a difficult time hitting him.
And with an 8-2 lead, just throw it right there and see if they can hit it. They set up upstairs. That's where they get it, ball 1. So Little, his 3 groundouts, he has spread them out to first, to second, and to short. So we'll see if he can hit one to third. Be the infield cycle.
Is that still a cycle watch?
Here's the 1-2. Slap foul. Who was the guy that was on the cycle watch earlier that you mentioned?
It was Garland. He doubled and homered, and then he grounded a double play in the 7th. So he is no longer on cycle watch, barring an insane 9th inning. Also looking forward here a little bit to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We've talked about the Otters games. Washington will be at Ottawa for 3 games in Canada as they wrap up their Canadian road trip.
Now, Washington lost today, correct?
Correct.
Or they were
did
losing.
lose today to Trois-Rivières.
So, if Evansville maintains their 6-run lead in the 9th inning, they'll be 3 back of first place.
Correct. So there is a chance by Thursday, if Washington loses all 3 games at Ottawa.
2-2 is fisted into short left field. Coming in is Rosario to make the catch. 1 down and 2 to go.
If Washington were to lose all 3 games and Evansville were to win all 3 games, then all of a sudden you're looking at a tie in the column. So a very important series coming up Tuesday through Thursday.
I know we said they play Washington
They
the
play
last week of the season.
Washington 6 more times.
6 more times, okay. 3 here and 3 there?
Nope.
All 6 there?
on the road.
Ooh, who made that schedule?
The Frontier League.
What's their number?
Who do we need to call about changing that last series to be at Bossy Field?
Here's a strike to Nilo Rijo, who is 1 for 3, a single, last time up in the 7th. Nobody on and 1 away here in the 9th.
And just for some context, where Ottawa is standing in the series, or in the standings, I should say, they entered today 36 and 24.
Another strike to Rijo, 0-2.
And Ottawa today defeated Lake Erie 10-2.
2 strikes on Rijo. Fastball is bounced to second, gloved by Davis, and he lollipops it to first base. Rijo is out, 4-3 on the putout, and the Miners down to their last out.
So that's something to watch for Otters fans Tuesday through Thursday. And of course, like we've mentioned, the 6 games to close out the year against Washington are all on the road, so they will have their hands full through the month of August. But certainly drawing even towards the end of July will put them in a good position for that final postseason push.
Last pitch, by the way, from Sawyer was at 96.9 miles per hour. It's the fastest pitch we've seen in this game. He is sweating through his blue and gray Evansville cap And the first pitch to the right-hander Garland is taken a little bit low, ball one.
You mentioned the blue and gray Evansville cap. We have had the discussion in the press box before, but of course they're never going to wear the gray uniforms at home. But so many of us have barely been able to see them play in these uniforms. But the gray with the blue script font and the blue and gray hat is just such a good look in my opinion.
The 1-0, low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes on Garland, who is 2 for 3. Double, a home run, and he's headed to a 6-4-3 double play. That home run back in the 4th made it a 3-2 Evansville lead. It was Garland's 4th home run of the season. Nobody on, 2 outs, and the 2-0. That catches the bottom part of the zone, knee high. That's funny because the first pitch of the at-bat, Sawyer was unhappy he didn't get the call, and now Garland unhappy that that pitch caught the zone. So I guess everything's even. 2 balls and a strike. From the stretch position, a foul down the right field line, and now Evansville 1 strike away from grabbing a Sunday afternoon win. Long look in by Sawyer. And from the belt, his 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball is outside. It's a full count. Didn't miss by a whole lot. So full count, 3-2 on Garland, trying to extend the game for Justin Washington, who is on deck. The 3-2. Fastball lifted in the air. Right field. Mcnamee moving back and just shy of the warning track. He makes the catch. This ball game is over. So Sawyer comes in and works a 1-2-3 ninth inning. And Evansville back to 10 games over 500 at 35-25. Sussex County drops to 33-27. It's an 8-2 final score as Evansville is able to salvage the game in this 3-game series. And Jordan, the biggest difference was the final couple of innings. Evansville able to capitalize something they were not able to do at the plate Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely, especially in that 8th inning where they were plated 4 runs, 3 of those being earned, the 4th run scoring because of an error with the bases loaded. But the Otters did a good job today of when they got runners on, they got them in scoring position, they drove them in for the most part. Of course, you're still going to leave some runners on base. I think they ended up with, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 runners left on base, but you know, they still scored 8 runs today, too, so they did a good job of capitalizing, and they got a much-needed road win to snap that 4-game losing skid. And now, as we kind of talked about it earlier in the broadcast, Tuesday through Thursday is a big series as they'll be hosting New York for 3 very winnable games, and Washington will have a difficult road trip at Ottawa. So come Thursday, July 28th, we could have a completely different look at the Frontier League standings, especially in the West Division.
Long way to go, but it feels good for Evansville to make that long bus trip home with the win. Final numbers, Evansville, 8 runs, 10 hits, no errors. They left 8 on. For the Miners, 2 runs, 7 hits, 3 errors. They left 5. It took 3 hours and 13 minutes to complete. Actually misspoke. Evansville did have 1 error in there, my bad. But yeah, 3 hours and 13 minutes to complete. Evansville scored a run in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd, 4 in the 8th, and 1 in the 9th. Sussex County a run in the 3rd. And a run in the 4th. So Evansville 35-25, Sussex County 33-27. Again, the Otters home against New York on Tuesday. Hope to see you at Bosse Field. For our producer today, Preston Linebach, alongside Jordan Fisher, I'm Devin Redmond. Thank you. It's been a pleasure and a privilege. The final score, Evansville 8, Sussex County 2. Have a great rest of your weekend, and so long on the Otters Digital Network.